97.3 The Fan listeners. If you're drowsy, sluggish, or feeling fatigued, you're about to get your afternoon boost with Tony Gwynn Jr.
Kevin McGinnigal. He was polling out there. Four knocks.
Chris Ello.
There's monkeys flying out of his you-know-where right now. I never thought I'd see this happen.
And Matt Scraby.
Baseball. That was my tiger.
Gwynn and Chris are ready to go.
Here's the 2-2 pitch. And France swings, sends it in the air deep to right field. Corbin Carroll's going back. He's going to watch this one. Gonna go! Second of the day for Ty France. The Padres add on at 6-4 here in the ninth.
Adam Klug sitting in for Matt Scraby today, trying to get on the good side of the hosts, playing some Aztec stuff from the weekend in Mexico City. We welcome you in, everybody, on this Monday to Gwynn and Chris Ello. Tony Gwynn Jr. back north of the border here down at Petco Park, getting set for Padre baseball tonight. Quick turnaround as the Chicago Cubs come in for a Monday night game. And Adam Klug is indeed sitting in for Scraby today. If you were just tuned in, Scraby sat in earlier for Braden Surprenant. So everybody's kind of doing their part here today. Yeah, right. He couldn't wait to get away from us. And as soon as this show started, like, the door hit him on the way out. Like, he couldn't wait.
He couldn't wait to get up out of
Couldn't wait to get up out of it. He wanted nothing to do with you or I. So, but Adam is here, and we're looking forward to hanging for the next few hours. And Tony's back home after an 8-game road trip. I try to put it in the proper perspective. Nothing is wrong with going 5-3. Number one, number two, yesterday, of course, notwithstanding, and we're going to talk plenty about it, but still won 16 of your last 20 ball games. You're still just a half game out of first place. You're still 6-0-1 in your last 7 series. There really isn't a whole lot to be disappointed about, Tony, but
did you say 6-0-1?
Well, 6 wins and where they had a tie in this series, right? So with Arizona.
Oh, series, yes.
Series. There's 6 series.
Gotcha.
Yeah, 6-0-1. So they haven't lost in the last 7 series. It's been going well, and the only thing they got to figure out now, the way I look at it, Tony, with the Cubs coming in, is a way to see if Major League Baseball will just spot the Cubs 4 runs here at the beginning of the game, because Padres clearly are showing to be a better team when they're down by 3 or 4 runs. I believe that was their 5th victory this year on Saturday when trailing by 4 or more runs. Consider they've only won 18. 5 of them have been 4-run comebacks. That's unheard of. And then, of course, the bizarro yesterday, you're up by 6 and you end up losing that game as the old stadium in Mexico City decided to snatch a few of those long balls away.
Yeah, they definitely did it backwards.
Right, yeah, right, yeah.
And lost, right?
Yeah, right.
They did it how you actually want to do it, which is get a lead early, add some more on, and then hand it to your bullpen. Unfortunately, they did not have the A-team in terms of the guys that would normally be out there available. And the guys who have done a good job in replacing those guys, they had bad nights, bad days yesterday. And so the Padres didn't certainly help themselves. They had a few mistakes of their own. The pickoff of Toddy, and I went back and looked at it, man. That's a close.
How is that not
one.
a balk?
I was about to say
I'm not trying to be a whiner, but the guy almost looked like he fell down, and then somehow
it was so good that I started tracking the baseball to the plate.
Right.
And then all of a sudden it didn't come, and I was like, what is oh no.
Yeah.
Toddy's picked off.
Yeah, I'm a stickler for getting picked off there, but I can't blame him on that one. I really can't, because I just thought the move was a fugazi almost.
Yeah, either that was one of the best inside moves you'll ever see, or it was a balk. It was one of those two.
Yeah.
And then the second one was the miscommunication between Bogey and Crone. I mean, I think if Bogey has it to do over, they both are talking, but he lets Cronenworth have a shot at turning 2, because that was the only way they were going to get to. I think they would have certainly got the lead guy, but once they collided, you could see it kind of knocked Crone off of tilt a little bit. He ended up losing the ball into his hand, and it was that that to me, based on the way they've played all season, that was an anomaly.
And
right?
And that turned the game. It really did.
It did. The defense has been on point, and the bullpen has been on point. Both of those things kind of let them down yesterday.
Yeah, I feel for David Morgan because we're both big David Morgan fans. I think everybody in town is. He's a guy that's battled his way to get to this point. He was such a big part of what happened last year. And, this year started off really well for him. And I think people are going to look at yesterday and think, wow, David Morgan, I don't know. But if you take a closer look at that, I don't know. Am I being too defensing for David Morgan? I thought I saw a couple of ground ball singles, and then I saw that chopper play, which just is a crazy result. I can't excuse giving up a grand slam to the number 9 hitter. That is not exactly what I had in mind. But the whole thing, the way it unraveled for the Padres yesterday, how many ground balls from the 7th and 8th inning went 1 inch inside the foul line, down either the first base line or the third base line? I think the Padres have had a lot of good breaks, good bounces. They didn't get any of them yesterday, and that's how they lose the game. And I hope that they're able to keep David Morgan's head up, and he's able to keep his head up. And I don't know what's going to happen because you're going to have guys coming back from injury, and David Morgan's name's going to be bannered around. But I hope he keeps his confidence, and that can be hard after a game like that, I think.
David Morgan's name will be bantered around from people who don't know what they're talking about. I don't think he's going to be a guy that they're considering going down. He had one bad day yesterday, and as you said, one ground ball that is that's made, we're having a completely different conversation. But I think this team is still in a good spot. They played, as you mentioned, had a good road trip. They come home, they got 3 tough ones, and they got 3 ones that they should be favored in. So Cubs, though, starting with them first, playing some good baseball. 10-2 in their last 12. This offense is probably one of the best offenses right now in the baseball. They are one of the best defenses in baseball. And so you can't have any of the mishaps that you had the last game against the Diamondbacks.
Yeah, and let's not what would we be talking about if the 7th and 8th inning didn't transpire the way it did? And by the way, if you're wondering what kind of anomaly that was, the bullpen gave up 10 runs in 2 innings.
Right?
That has only happened one other time in franchise history. Wow. Padres have been around for 50 some odd years. It happened once in a game 30 years ago, and then it happened yesterday. So,
that puts us in the 90s.
Right, yeah. So I don't
30 years ago used to mean like the 60s. Now it's
right,
like
I know
90s,
it's still the 90s, but I guess the bottom line here is I'll take my chances with the 6-0 lead and moving forward. And the reason they had that 6-0 lead was none other than the awakening of Manny Machado. And we've seen it so many times. I can't predict what he's going to do this week. But when he locks in and hits 2 balls like that the other way, that both, it's a ballpark may had a little something to do with it, Tony. You tell me, you were there, but I don't know. A slug day like that for Manny, if that gets him going, look out the month of May, because he could just do some things, and that would be a welcome thing, obviously.
I think couple thoughts on Manny. I think that, yes, we saw him start to get going, I thought it happened the night before. He had 3 phenomenal swings. He made 2 outs on hard ground balls, including one to third. And then he followed it up with the 2 homers and then being robbed of an extra base hit at the end of the game by Arenado. That was another terrific swing. And so I think what we're seeing is that Manny has had his spring training, basically. Remember, he left for the WBC, where it's not the same type of at-bat. You're playing a game, and then you're sitting down. You're playing it's tournament action, right? So although he's getting 4 game-ready at-bats, the reason why spring training is important is because when you start that early, you're not ready for game-ready at-bats a lot of times. And I think what we've seen is him basically work through things that he would have been working through when he's getting, 4 at-bats here, 4 at-bats there, and he's able to kind of, pace himself. I think what you're seeing now is possibly him starting to find his stride. It looks like he kind of dropped his hands a little bit, and all of a sudden, ball is starting to shoot all over the place. And I think that's probably the most positive thing coming out of this road trip is that he's starting to swing it. And man, as you said, once Manny gets it going, it can go on for months.
Yes, let's hope that this is the start of something big. His game yesterday, and as I said, if they would have won the game like normal, 7-3, that's all anybody's talking about is that they got the best record in the league. They're in first place, and Manny Machado's warming up. I can't root against Freddie Fermin, but I have to root for Luis Campusano right now. He hit 2 balls on the button again. 2 extra base hits, probably could have had a third. I think they ruled it an error after he hit that line shot off the pitcher late in the game. I know Craig Stammen has his plan with the catching, and I know it's April, but I need to start seeing a little more Luis. I do. He's swinging really well right now, Tony.
Yeah, no, I don't know that that's going to happen. I think they like the rotation they have right now. It's been successful, and I think you got to be careful of throwing a guy out there too much. I think it's good to kind of piecemeal it the way that they have, because it also allows Freddie to kind of get himself going. He had some nice swings and knocks over this road trip as well. Certainly, I still think he's by far the superior defensive catcher. I don't think that's really all that close in terms of the running game, but this is what they thought Campy could be. This is why they continue to go back to him year after year after year. And this year, I think the difference is, and maybe he agrees, maybe he doesn't, is that he has a manager that I think poured into him early in terms of allowing him to know, hey, you got a long runway, man. Don't worry about making out. Just go do you. You got a spot. And I think that has been I know that has been some weight off of his shoulders, not having to go up to the plate or get behind the home plate and have to feel like he has to be perfect. He has been allowed to, even as he didn't start this season like gangbusters, he started off slow. He didn't have a hit forever the first many at-bats. And knowing that wasn't going to factor into him being sent down or anything, I'm sure has helped him get to swing the bat the way he's gotten, that way he's swung it here as of late.
Yeah, I'm loving that. Tonight it'll be another guy that has really come around. I mean, when you think where he was last year to now, how about Randy Vasquez? He'll lock horns with Matthew Boyd. Boyd pitched in the playoffs against the Padres last year. I hesitate to call this a chance for redemption. Even if the Padres sweep the Cubs, the fact of the matter is they did knock us out of the playoffs last year, but
it's not.
That's what I'm saying. But some people are going to probably try to do that. I'll let them do that. Meanwhile, we'll just hope for a victory tonight. We'll talk a lot about it as we go towards 5:30 today on Gwynn and Chris.
First pitch on the way. Fermin swings, lines it into left field. Gurriel coming in. He will hop up, make the catch. Tagging at third, Bogarts. He'll come in to score. This game is tied.
Although the Padres were victims of the comeback yesterday, they were beneficiaries of the comeback victory on Saturday. Padres chasing some runs there. I believe it was 4. They were chasing, and they put up 5 to take the lead. Again, a 7th inning or later situation for the Padres where they have been brilliant at it. And so they lose one like that, they win one. Welcome back into Gwynn and Chris, Tony Gwynn Jr., Chris Ello, Adam Klug sitting in for Matthew Scraby. And Saturday was interesting because, after the off day, you came in after a nice win to finish the series in Colorado to make that a happy flight, because that also was not looking good there for a second. Then the Padres unloaded a bunch of runs in that game. They got off to a little bit of a slow start in that game on Saturday, and the offense, again was facing a pitcher that they seemingly kind of let off the hook there for a while. Zach Gallen, who, I don't think is the Zach Gallen we've seen in the past. He's not striking as many guys out. He comes out of that game pretty early with the line drive off his shoulder. And then the bullpen proceeded to kind of keep the Padres at bay. And then all of a sudden, just like they've done a bunch of other times this year, they got into that 7th inning.
Yeah.
And the whole game changed from there.
What's been going on? I mean, from your perspective, and because I think now, like I said, Tony, you've had 5 comebacks of 4 runs or more this year, and almost all of them have been like in the 7th, 8th, or 9th inning. So I don't want to say it's the game plan to fall behind. I don't mean it like that. But are they doing a good job of maybe taking notes or something the first couple of times through the order so that they have some sort of edge the 3rd or 4th time? Or has it just kind of been, weird that it's worked out this way in your mind?
I think I don't know. Honestly, I think from my perspective watching them, it looks like they have every intent on trying to execute the game plan early. And I think on days where it's been smooth, they've been able to do it from the beginning. But there are occasions, and especially in these comeback wins, where they're having to have multiple at bats, or you're not able. Guys aren't in the lineup executing the game plan the way they want fully, and so it's taking time, right? And maybe the pitcher is doing something a little bit different, and they got to kind of adjust on the fly than what they kind of planned on. But what's been fun to watch is it does seem like as the game goes on, the bats keep getting better.
Yes.
And
so there's got to be something to that. It can't just be total coincidence.
No, I don't think it is. I think they are. It's almost like they've calibrated enough by the time they get to those innings that they've scored, or they've gotten into a matchup where they feel really good about what's happening. And so I think it's a good thing. Mind you, we say all that, and that's really been without the big 3 being the big 3 at this point. They've been able to still do that. And I think oftentimes we talk about the Padres and the lack of offense. I think this year's team is really good at kind of team approach and figuring it out as they go. And sometimes it's felt like last year, like they got behind. It was not a lot that was going to happen. I know we had a couple comebacks, but it just feels like this year, this team they're going to play all 27, and they're going to keep getting better as the game goes along.
Yeah, I mean, they've been out. I mean, until yesterday, they'd outscored their opponents by 25 runs from the 7th inning on. Now that took a hit yesterday, right? Because Arizona got all those runs late. But the flip side of that, Tony, was that after, I think, either before or after yesterday, I don't remember exactly when the stat was put out, but the first 3 innings of the game, they were being outscored 41-21. So it was, completely, in a situation where they were getting off to that slower start. I think the Padres, starters have done okay. I mean, again, Marquez, he gave up 4 runs, but it was really 2 swings of the bat. and then he just stopped them. He didn't give up anything until the 7th inning, and by then they had a chance to come back. Again, it's not 6 shutout innings, but I don't know. A lot of guys give up, a double like that and a home run, and it's 4-0, and that's kind of the last you see of them. So I give him a lot of credit for that performance.
These guys are like the back end of our rotation.
Yeah,
getting that kind of production. That's a great point. I mean, really 2 swings, as you said, for Marquez. Other than that, he was money. That was outside of those 2 swings. That might have been the best we've seen Marquez this year. And I think Michael King, that was probably the best we saw him since opening day when he came out and threw up a bunch of zeros. And yet he had like a low 2 ERA going into yesterday, and he hadn't been at his best. And so, yeah, I mean, listen, they do they've done a lot of really good things so far. This is a good test, though. This speaking of, you mentioned the first 3 innings being outscored by 20. They're plus 15 in the last 3 innings of the game. And so
that's winning time, as I think my friend Magic Johnson used to call it.
Yeah, no doubt. So, it's a good test, though. This Cubs team is a good Cub team. They got a really good lineup, and they're playing like their lineup is really good. Although the Dodgers touched them up for 2 of 3, though, before they came down this way.
Now, how was San Diego South, Tony? Give us a little scouting report. Actually, being at that ballpark, it sounded great watching it from here.
We got Petco North up in Anaheim, and we got Petco South down in Mexico City. It was nuts. I put it this way: Arizona was the home team, but it didn't feel like that. I mean, Mason Miller came out, they had his music going. I mean, the fans. The only one who got a good cheer was Alek Thomas, and that's because he played for Team Mexico during the WBC. He had a good little couple days there, but yeah, man, it was crazy. It was a madhouse. I wasn't feeling well the first day. I didn't sleep but like a couple hours, so I kind of stayed to myself on Saturday. But then yesterday, I tried to get out and mingle a little bit. It was crazy, man. It was a lot of San Diegans, a lot of folks from Mexico City that are Padre fans. Yeah, it was pretty sweet. It was basically 2 home games for the Padres. Is what it felt like.
I was really surprised. I thought they were going to be the designated home team. I read that wrong. I was expecting them to be the home team, and then when they weren't in the first game, I thought, oh, that's cool. They're just switching up. And then I realized, no, they weren't the visiting team for both those games. So, yeah. Either way, but yeah, how was the accommodations for like the clubhouses and what kind of ballpark was this behind the scenes?
The ballpark is beautiful. It's probably one of the best ballparks in Mexico. Pretty new from what I know. I think my partner tells me 7 years that it was built that far ago. Oh, so you got some pics there from where we were. I think the stadium is sweet, man. The ball's flying. There's no doubt about that. The turf isn't the bouncy turf that we think of. It kind of deadens the ball a little bit, but in terms of the accommodations, it was great, man. I didn't go to the clubhouse. I didn't spend too much time in the clubhouse. Wasn't a ton of space, I think, for us to be kind of hanging out. And so we came up we were in our little booth most of the time, and when we had the door open, people could kind of grab our attention. We went, Jesse and I signed some autographs, and it was fun, man. I was happy to come home, though.
All right,
it was a long night. I didn't lay on my pillow until about 3 a.m.
That is a long trip. Yeah, you had to go through all that stuff now to get back in the country. It's not easy anymore.
I got to my house at about 1:45.
Yeah. All right. Never mind all that stuff. That's the stuff that Adam wanted to know, and that's the stuff that the fans wanted to know. All I care about is, did Dave Marcus get on the air okay Saturday, and what kind of fun, crazy things happened with him down there?
Yes, he was. I give you a couple things about Dave Marcus. He got beat to the stadium, so we ended up having to be on the visitor side, which is, the home side.
Wait, he gave up the good booth?
Yeah, he gave up the good booth. The booth that had air conditioning in it. He showed up.
That's not
he
what
got
happened.
He got outmaneuvered by the
Sorry, I
Diamondbacks.
defend myself on this one.
He's
Nice.
jumping in on
Leo
this one,
Gil
huh?
Martin of the Diamondbacks. Whoa, by the way, this is hot.
I told him. He didn't want to
This
listen
is
to
way hot. Very. Test.
Turn
1,
down
2,
his
3, 4.
microphone, Dave. All right, Jesse,
Nice
tell
and
us what happened. We
overmodulated.
want to know.
We're
Jesse's
supposed to
always the
be
voice of reason. He
compared
saves us. What happened?
to altitude sickness.
Altitude sickness.
Altitude sickness.
Yeah, you've got altitude sickness.
So Jesse's my witness to this.
Okay.
He got locked out of the booth. It was a whole ordeal.
Oh,
to
no.
do, but it ended up being great. It was a nice little booth. Couldn't see balls in the air, but outside of that, great.
Wait, hold up. My favorite call of the weekend. I don't know if you guys were listening, but Rob Drake, who is the third base umpire.
I thought you were going to say the one where I said, fly ball to center field, here comes Merrill, and Bogarts makes the catch.
No.
Those
My
happen,
man,
though. Those can happen.
Here, Chris, you bring this up often. As a fan, right? You kind of need to know what's happening, right? And so the umpires have to really give their signals in order for the people outside of the field,
The immediate vicinity in which the guy is standing.
right? And to need to know what happened. So in our case, there wasn't a good sight line down the left field line because of where we were. And so I think it was a long fly ball.
It was Manny. He was trying to make a sliding catch in foul territory.
And
The guy disappeared from view.
He disappeared, and Rob Drake is just looking at it. And
Not calling
all
anything. Yeah,
not
thanks,
calling
Rob.
anything. And Jesse is like hanging on it, like waiting for the call, and he never gave it. And when he didn't give it, oh my man, Jesse got. And so we had Kevin AC and AJ Cassavell sitting down there. They're listening to us on radio. All I know is after the play and Jesse finished giving his diatribe about what was going on, I look over and these two guys are just laughing
Because they knew what happened.
They knew exactly what happened because it's a thing that it seems like it's a small deal, but for us who are broadcasting,
that's a big deal. You got to be able to tell us what
fans
happened.
who are in the stadium, you got to let us know what's going on so we can let them know.
Come
what's
on,
going
Rob
on.
Drake. I call.
Umpire pet peeve.
Yeah, well, I call your attention, Jesse Agler. If you have not seen it, maybe you probably have because you're kind of like this stuff like I do. But I recall seeing on YouTube a great clip of a horse track announcer trying to announce a race, just as any old race, 7th, 8th race. It wasn't a big deal race on a really foggy day somewhere in New Jersey, and the horses disappeared from his view, like flat out disappeared. And he just said it like that. He goes, and it's, Benny's Business into the lead and Taco Tuesday a second, and they disappear into the fog. And that's all he could do. He had no hope. So I feel for you. That's kind of what happened to you. Like what was he supposed to do? He couldn't even see the horses to broadcast it. So
disappeared into the fog. I'm going to say that next time.
There you go. Just say Rob Drake. Yeah, the
it
guy disappeared into the fog. That's exactly what it
was
is.
like that Eagles Bears playoff game back.
Yes.
In the 80s.
Well, we get those questions today, during the broadcast. Here's one came in yesterday from Mason Chattanooga. Where did Jesse's anger towards umpire not signaling calls originate?
There it is. That's a good one. That's a good one.
You like to be able to know what's happening. Yeah.
That was our Mexico City kind of ordeal there. We had a good time though. It's always fun when we go down there. It's always fun, but it's always time to come home when it's time to come home.
Yep. All right. Well, welcome back, guys. And I think you're taking us to break.
Yeah. Where are we going next, Adam?
I think we do a potpourri of the weekend. There was a lot of stuff that happened. I think your Lakers played, and there were some games and some controversies and more baseball to talk about. So
let's do it. On the other side, little sports potpourri on Gwynn and Chris.
right, sometimes the best segments on the show are like the one that's coming up now. A segment where we could just go off in any number of different directions. Chris Ello, Tony Gwynn Jr. down at Petco Park, along with how's Dave recovered from the altitude sickness? Is he all right? He claimed it. I want to make sure
Dave is good.
He's back. Good. He's back at ground zero. Padres and Cubs tonight.
We're all in our comfort zone.
Back in the comfort zone. That is surprising though that he got beat out for the good booth. That doesn't sound like
too.
Dave.
I was surprised too. Like he never gets beat to the stadium.
No, right. He sleeps there normally, especially when he's at a new stadium that he doesn't know very well, like that one.
Right.
All right. Padres got the win Saturday, got the loss yesterday. We'll talk more Padres in a little bit. Also, coming up on the show in about an hour, Tony and I had a chance to talk about, and I didn't realize until we had this interview, Tony, that you guys will all hear in a little bit, with Britt Ghiroli. She is a senior baseball writer for The Athletic, and she is covering this whole Boston Red Sox thing. The surprising firing of Alex Cora took place, was it yesterday or Saturday officially?
Yesterday.
Yeah. He gets fired and
it's Saturday. It was
okay,
Saturday.
yeah. And so they fire him and everybody else, all the assistants and the hitting, everybody. And there's just, this isn't going over. It's going over like a lead balloon. Let's put it that way in Boston.
Yeah,
the fans are not thrilled. The players seem really angry. And then, you'll hear the whole interview, but the one thing she's told me or us, Tony, is that stuck out is, here's the GM, here's the people, the president or whoever comes down to the locker room to announce that they, have fired their popular manager, a guy that they all really like, a guy that won a World Series, not that long ago. And the guys weren't even allowed to ask a question. Like the players, these are the guys that these are the guys that do it for you. And it's just just sit there. We're going to tell you, and then we're going to leave, and you go play ball. That just seems like a really toxic situation, honestly.
It's the ultimate flex rich guy move right here. Like, I pay you, don't ask any questions, do what you're told, and get on out there and then go catch that ball, hit that ball, throw that ball.
Very weird. The Red Sox, of course, responded, by the way, with back-to-back wins since all this happened. But
that's the crazy part, right?
They're 2-0.
None of them are happy.
Yeah.
Listen, maybe you can get one of those in spite of situation. Like, we're going to go out here and try to win games because we can't.
Kind of like Major League, when they found out the owner was going to sell them at the end of the year, the guys got motivated. Right. Maybe that's what's working for the Red Sox. Anyway, we'll talk, and I think you're going to be surprised because I didn't realize the story was that treacherous and toxic in Boston. We'll talk with her in about an hour. She'll join us on the SDCCU fan hotline.
You got a new word in your vocabulary.
What's that?
Toxic. I don't know if I've heard you use it this much.
Yeah,
before.
And I used it twice. I may not use it again for another 8 years, but it got in there twice in the last 30 seconds. Who knows how that happened? So we'll get into that, and we'll do some more baseball. But for a lot of you, I guess the NFL draft was kind of a thing this weekend. I even asked Adam, because Adam's a big draft guy, and I said, "Were you really watching Saturday? Like when they get into round 5? I mean, are you really on the edge of your seat? Sweating it out at that point? I mean, when you think about it, and I'll let Adam respond here, but Adam, like we don't even know who the guys in the first round are, barely." I mean, so now when you're sitting there and they're talking about Mel Kiper's telling you the best available in the 5th round, like really, how can he possibly know at that point?
Here's what I found really interesting, because you mentioned Saturday specifically. Like my 9-year-old son, Ethan, he's a miniature version of me. He loves sports. And so like he wanted to watch. And even I was like, I don't really
even
care
you
to
didn't
watch,
want to watch.
But he wanted to watch. So on Saturday, we tuned in. The Falcons had a pick coming up. It got to the point, and not just for the Falcons picks, but for all picks, they weren't even showing the commissioner announce the pick.
It wasn't even, they were beyond the announcement.
And then the Mel Kipers of the world aren't even giving their thoughts on each pick. They're to the point where they're like, we're just going to talk about the Patriots overall for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And then we will switch and talk about the Packers for 10 minutes. And they just have a banner on the bottom of the screen that says who each
pick has been
They're
in.
not even like, oh, they just took so-and-so. Here's how they fit into the team.
Well, the last day is, the teams, I understand it. It's a big deal. I read somewhere where something like 20% or 25 even percent of players in the NFL were drafted on Saturday. Like a lot of these guys that are picked in the 5th, 6th, 7th round, they make it and they do things. And we know about the Mr. Irrelevant and Brock Purdy and Tom Brady back in the day. So it's important to all them. It's just for us to know what's going on. But on the other side of that, Tony, I didn't get a chance to talk to you, but Friday, man, or Thursday night, but the Dolphins getting Chris Johnson going to the Dolphins in the first round. What a great, situation for him. To get picked in the first round out of San Diego State, first defensive player picked in the first round as an Aztec for 30, 40 years. And I would think as your draft choice, you want to go to a team that's rebuilding in a sense. I mean, it'd be fun to go to a winner, but if you're in a rebuilder, man, you're in there starting and you're helping build this thing up. I think it's perfect for him.
Yeah, except if you're a quarterback. That's the only time you don't want to.
Yes, then you're going to get killed. Then you're
that can ruin your career.
Yeah.
But anyone else, I mean, shoot, I just use my own experience, like being drafted to the Brewers, or no disrespect, or even the Padres at that time was appealing because you knew their minor league system didn't have a whole lot. It's the same thing for a rookie getting drafted in the NFL, right? If you know that team organization has struggled immensely and they need talent, you're going to have an opportunity. Doesn't mean they're just going to hand it to you. In some cases it does, but
right.
You're going to have a lot of opportunity to go out and make a name for yourself. It's much harder to do that if you get drafted by, let's say, the Chiefs or the Eagles, unless it's a specific position that they need. Whereas, one of these sorry teams, Raiders, whoever's picked, they got a whole lot of spots open for somebody to come in and do well. And so, yes, I think I 100% agree. If as long as you're not a quarterback, it is a good thing to get drafted by a sorry team.
Well, and if Chris Johnson wonders whether or not there may be an opening at the cornerback position for the Dolphins, I can show him about a 3-hour-long film of wide receivers running wide open the last couple of seasons that the Dolphins were not covering. So they honestly, definitely need somebody.
Honestly, I don't know that it would even matter if there is. Based on how our conversation went with Chris, he seems like a very confident young man. And he, regardless of if that spot was open or not, he would have felt like, I'm going to go in and take this spot.
Confident, but also prepared. And that's what I also, confident is important, but if you don't know what you're doing, confidence is only going to take you so far. So good luck to Chris Johnson. There were some other Aztecs that were signed as free agents at the end of the draft. I think, thank you, Adam. Now, a little late because I was moving off the Aztec topic, as you now, thank you. But that's fun.
I don't do this every day. It took me a minute to find it on Scraper's page.
Yeah, I know. It wasn't readily available. He probably keeps that not easy to access. The quarterbacks. Did you read into anything with the Rams and Sean McVay, or did you think that was people making that up? They drafted the quarterback, and people thought Sean McVay was like mad, and I was like, I find that a little hard to believe that he wasn't at least a little in on that.
I was having this discussion with Jesse. It's amazing how much people think they know that they actually don't know absolutely nothing about, right? Body language. We all are body language readers now. Like, what is going on? How about this? Did anybody ever think about this? That maybe, just maybe, they drafted a quarterback, and with the understanding that he still has a quarterback in the building, and that he may not necessarily feel great about them taking another quarterback, that maybe McVay was trying not to be too giddy
right. He didn't want to make it look to Matthew Stafford like he was all excited. Yeah,
Can you imagine what the stories would have been written or the tweets that would have gone out if he would have been like jumping for joy that they took a quarterback there?
And the Rams picked Ty Simpson. Yes! Finally, I got a quarterback. It's about time.
Can you imagine what we would be saying then?
Nah, that's a good point. Yeah. I mean, he's got to look out for all parties there. So.
Right.
Yeah.
And
Now,
so, yes, I didn't buy that at all. First of all, their organizations run too well for them to make a pick that high,
right,
and
not have
be able to-
anybody in on it.
Come on.
Yeah,
Come
I
on.
agree with you. Here's another one that I found interesting. Vanderbilt quarterback Diego Pavia became the first Heisman Trophy finalist in 12 years to not get drafted at all. And now that means, so everybody's been, I mean, that goes for like, some guys we don't even kind of know who they are, like the fifth guy in the Heisman Trophy finalist. They all get drafted, but not this guy. He did not get drafted at all. Apparently, he's the Vanderbilt quarterback. He's also quite polarizing in the sense that he was the one at the end of the Heisman when he finished second to Fernando Mendoza. Remember what he posted on Instagram?
Yep.
It was a photo with the caption, "Bleep all the voters." He apologized for that, but maybe that has followed him. I don't know. He's apparently going to give it a shot and compete, go to the Ravens camp next week and see where that takes him. But pretty interesting. Maybe, I don't know. He's got to have some skill, ability, I would think.
Unless you were a dude, like a dude.
Yeah.
You shouldn't have any extracurricular, like, talking or like just be quiet, like just don't say nothing unless you're a dude, like unless you are a dude,
right?
Like,
and this guy
no
thinks he is a dude.
He thinks he is,
talks,
but the NFL doesn't think he is, right? I would say take a page out of Shedeur Sanders' book. He got drafted, they took him where they took him. Just kind of go to work, go play, and then you can and then maybe they'll give you a little break. But you got to get in the building first, though. That's the problem with this. 'Cause at least Shedeur got drafted. I mean, my man is a free agent walking into a Ravens building.
Yeah, he didn't. Yeah,
Lamar
Ravens.
Jackson at the helm.
Guys, hey, Lamar, man, I got you. Sure you do.
This league is starved for quarterbacks. There are not enough good ones to go around. So if they thought this guy could even have a 1% chance of kind of being the guy, don't you think he would have gotten drafted?
Yeah, no kidding. I just maybe it was just a message.
I think you're on to something. Isn't he like 5'10"?
Maybe might be shorter than that, to be honest.
Well, he is a short guy. Yeah, that might be part of it.
We didn't see too many Doug Flutys in today's NFL.
There was another interesting.
Doug Flutie was really good.
Yeah, Doug was great.
He's
really
listed
was.
5'10", 207 on Wikipedia for whatever that's worth. Not always the most accurate, but
because they don't have ABS in the NFL, I'm gonna say that he's actually lying on the taller side of his measurements there.
All right, here's another interesting one that I want to get both of you guys' thoughts. Adam, also because you're good on this NFL draft stuff. The running back, let me get it right. Jeremiah Love, Notre Dame. He was picked third overall by Arizona. Everyone agrees that Arizona needs a running back. Everybody agrees that he's good. He deserves this opportunity. He's the best guy in the class. Yet, everyone I read said this was the dumbest pick ever made. And why they said that is not because of what he can do as a running back, but because of the salary structure that he is now slotted into, because rookies make a certain amount, right? It says guaranteed.
He's got the highest guarantee of any running back in NFL history, more than Saquon Barkley.
Right. He's already the highest paid running back like in the history of the league, and he hasn't even stepped on the field. And they just felt that was a dumb position to put him in and put themselves in. I don't know what the opinion should be one way or the other than to say maybe they should change the way they do this, because the guy should have been drafted where he deserves to be as a player, not because of his salary slot.
While Tony's drinking water, I'll say this. On the one hand, I actually don't think they needed a running back. They have James Conner and a third-round pick running back from a couple years ago.
Injured
James Conner. James Conner's hurt, but anyway.
And also we saw last year with Ashton Genty, went to a bad team with a bad offensive line, and he it's difficult to have success in that manner. So I could certainly make the argument they didn't need him. But as Chris, you and I talked about before when we were in the commercial break, this is considered a very weak draft class. And so if they just think, you know what, we'd rather take a guy we know is going to be good rather than someone who's just not going to end up being that good at the NFL level, I get it.
But it's bad because he's already the highest paid running back. That's not fair to the likes of Jahmyr Gibbs and the likes, all these other guys that have that deserve to be the highest paid running backs.
He's not the highest paid.
No, but
he's the highest paid for as a rookie.
Yes, but he's okay. I'll tell you what, Tony. I believe his average salary makes him 7th right now. It's a little high for a guy that hasn't toted the ball once yet, and he is ahead of Jahmyr Gibbs and ahead of several other really good players of that ilk. So
he's
that
the
to me is
highest paid
wrong.
running back in terms of guaranteed money. 4 years, $50.5 million contract.
I don't know. The Cardinals are getting lambasted for this. So.
Yeah, I think that I agree with what you guys were saying in terms of if this is a weak class and it's the best player available, you take the best player available and you deal with the guarantees later at some point. If he ends up being, because here's the deal, what you don't want, and I don't buy the, don't pick him because your team sucks and he's going to be running behind a bad offensive line like we saw my man from the Raiders do. What I also know is that was also Saquon Barkley. Running behind bad lines, getting hurt because of it. But what happened? He ended up being the best running back in the league, and the Giants then sent him off. That's a whole nother story. But at least you had the chance to have that guy, and I think that could work out the same way for
Jeremiah. All right, real quick, we got 10 seconds. Fernando Mendoza with the Raiders. Thumbs up or down, Tony?
Thumbs up.
Thumbs up, Adam.
Right pick. Don't think he'll be a star.
I wish him the best of luck.
Well, that wasn't the question.
I know. Yeah,
thumbs up
Adam.
or thumbs
You use
down,
the number
buddy.
one pick on a player, you expect him to be a star.
So Adam says thumbs down then.
Thumbs down, I think, is what the answer
That's the answer. All right, we'll check in on that in a couple of years, Adam. More Gwynn and Chris coming up.
What are we doing, guys?
I'm going to see the museum for the first time ever. It's going to be sweet. See my dad's plaque. See where Trevor's plaque is going to be. It's going to be pretty dope.
Chris,
I'm going to go to the Hall of Fame for the second time because I went earlier today, but I'm going in to see Tony go into the Hall of Fame. So all the way straight and back left.
Straight back left.
Straight on that back wall.
This one?
Yeah.
How you feeling, Tony?
I don't know how I'm feeling right now, honestly.
Excited?
I'm definitely excited. Hello. Eric, how you doing? Pretty good. Wow.
Just like I told you, next to the famous Barney Dreyfuss and Leslie Wilkinson, whoever they are.
That does look like them.
I know. It's a good shot. They don't do them all that great. That one's good. Really good.
I missed a year. 300. Must have been bad. Huh? I used to be. Not anymore, though.
Oh, it's so cool. What team did you play on?
I can give you a long list of them. Brewers, Padres, Dodgers, Phillies, Nationals.
What position did you play?
I played outfield. This was my dad. Oh, there's Dick Williams, Goose. I think he'd be pretty happy with his company over there. So.
What are you thinking of seeing it for the first time?
I'm thinking
I'm hot. I'm quite warm right now, but it's cool. I mean, it's what I thought it was going to be. I mean, who not too many people can say they have a dad that's enshrined in this place. So I think this is awesome.
What are we doing, guys?
I'm going to see the museum for the first time ever. It's going to be sweet. See my dad's plaque. See where Trevor's plaque is going to be. It's going to be pretty dope.
Chris,
I'm going to go to the Hall of Fame for the second time because I went earlier today, but I'm going in to see Tony go into the Hall of Fame. So all the way straight and back left.
Straight back left.
Straight on that back wall.
This one?
Yeah.
How you feeling, Toby?
I don't know how I'm feeling right now, honestly.
Excited?
I'm definitely excited. Hello, Eric. How you doing? Pretty good.
Wow. Just like I told you, next to the famous Barney Dreyfuss and Leslie Wilkinson, whoever they are.
That does look like them.
I know. It's a good shot. They don't do them all that great. That one's good. Really good.
I missed a year. 300. Must have been bad. Huh? I used to be. Not anymore, though.
Oh, it's so cool. What team did you play on?
I can give you a long list of them. Brewers, Padres, Dodgers, Phillies, Nationals.
What position did you play?
I played outfield. This was my dad. Oh, there's Dick Williams, Goose. I think he'd be pretty happy with his company over here. So.
What are you thinking of seeing it for the first time?
I'm thinking
I'm hot. I'm quite warm right now, but it's cool. I mean, it's what I thought it was going to be. I mean, who not too many people can say they have a dad that's enshrined in this place. So I think this is awesome.
What are we doing, guys?
I'm going to see the museum for the first time ever. It's going to be sweet. See my dad's plaque. See where Trevor's plaque is going to be. It's going to be pretty dope.
Chris,
I'm going to go to the Hall of Fame for the second time because I went earlier today, but I'm going in to see Tony go into the Hall of Fame. So all the way straight at the back left.
Straight back left.
Straight around that back wall.
This one?
Yeah.
How you feeling, Toby?
I don't know how I'm feeling right now, honestly.
Excited?
I'm definitely excited. Hello, Eric. How you doing? Pretty good.
Now, Crisello, Adam Klug sitting in for Scraby today. Tony Gwynn Jr. down at Petco Park. A little heads up for all of you. Tony will be on television tonight. So he's checked out to get ready for that. They do a lot of the pre-taping before the broadcast there. So Anthony has to get his tie tied. There's got to be a better way to say that. Get your tie tied. But there's no other way to say it, is there?
Not that I could think of.
I can't either. So
I was talking to somebody on, I think it was Friday, about troubleshooting something I had already taken care of and done in the past. And I said, is it troubleshooted or troubleshot?
Troubleshotted.
Whoa.
No, I don't believe that's it either. Speaking of something in the past, real quick, on behalf of myself and Scraby, I want to thank everybody who came down to visit and hang out with us Saturday at Mavericks down by the beach in Pacific Beach. We had a really good day, a lot of fun down there, watching Padre baseball with many of the fans out there on the patio. So we had a really good time, and the folks from South Norte's Tequila were there. And we had a bunch of drink specials, but more importantly, we gave away a lot of prizes. I didn't realize we were going to have so many prizes. We had a lot of gift certificates, and I had to figure out a way to give away the prizes. Adam, did you like how I chose to give away the first batch of prizes? I believe
having the dogs do the tricks.
We had some stupid pet tricks come out, and I think it was Ryan. If you're out there, Ryan, great job, man. His dog came out and he said he could play dead, and the dog did okay. May not have been like an all-time ready for Hollywood execution of playing dead, but it was good enough to get the gift card. Ryan, appreciate you coming up. I think it was Christy won the big prize at the end of the day, the headphones, and we gave away Padre tickets and a Campusano signed ball, and met all kinds of great people. Ricardo, we see you. You are the best. Appreciate you out there. So anyway, thank you to everybody, and I wish I could, name everybody that came up and said hello, but we really enjoyed meeting everybody and hanging out at Mavericks Beach Club down there in Pacific Beach. The only thing I did not appreciate, Adam Klug, they got no parking down there. And I mean none. I parked 9 blocks from the Mavericks Beach
I'm sorry
Club.
to hear that.
I mean, that was it was socked in, every spot taken for like a 9-block radius around that place. I don't know how you people in Pacific Beach do it, but anyway, once I found a way to get the car parked, I was good to go. Had a lot of fun, though. So thank you to everybody. All right, the lineup is out for tonight's game, and I don't like it. Adam, why don't you announce it? Because I'm a little frustrated with this lineup tonight. I'm just telling you in advance. I'm not second-guessing Stammen. He doesn't have to check with me. But I don't like this lineup. I'll explain it after you give it to everybody.
Hey, Chris Ello, unapproved.
Yeah, it's
Padres
not
starting
approved.
lineup.
Not approved by me. Doesn't mean they can't win the game. I just don't like it. I don't like this lineup.
Ramon Laureano leads off playing left field.
Okay.
Fernando Tatis Jr. bats second, plays second. He's at second base today. Jackson Merrill batting third in center field. Manny Machado batting cleanup in third base. Xander Bogart, shortstop, batting fifth. Miguel Andujar, DH, batting sixth. Ty France gets the start at first base. Nick Castellanos out in right field, followed by Freddie Fermin batting ninth, playing catcher. Randy Vasquez on the bump.
You were doing well through 1 through 7. After that, you lost me, honestly. I think Castellanos can have a couple of pinch hit at bats and see if he can't get something going right now. Number one. Number two, I cannot put him in right field. I just think I think it's almost unfair to him. And it's really unfair to Vasquez and to us to have to watch him try to play right field. He's not a good outfielder, even on a good day. And these are not good days for Nick Castellanos. So I don't like to pick on anybody like that, but he should DH if you got to get him in the lineup. And secondly, I don't understand why Freddie Fermin gets the call over Campusano tonight. I get that Stammen wants to rotate these guys and give Fermin the bulk of it because he's the starting catcher. But Bruce Bochy used to have a rule that I don't hate. And if it was good enough rule for Bruce Bochy, one of the best managers in the history of the game, that's good enough for me. And I believe that rule went, if you hit a home run, you play the next day. And Campusano not only homered yesterday, but he's homered and doubled in, I think, 2 of his last 3 starts. Freddie Fermin, until he starts hitting the ball out of the infield, is not much of a threat. I know you got to play Fermin. I know you got to play everybody, and I've been supportive of playing everybody. So I'm not going back on what I said earlier. It's a 26-man team. Everybody needs to be a part of it. But it also should be, in my mind, a production-based business. And if you need Fermin to catch tonight, that's fine. If you want him in there defensively, Campusano should be the DH tonight. And I think you can move Fernando back out to right field where he belongs. And I know that you don't want to play Ty France at second base because you think Fernando's better. But if you want Ty France in against a lefty, put him at second, put Andujar at first, and Campusano DHs. Castellanos can come off the bench later on. Already Jay Cronenworth's out of the lineup against a lefty. And if you're going to tell me I can't do that because Ty France is a liability at second base, you think, and that's your opinion, well, then why are you putting Nick Castellanos in right field, and that's okay? Like, to me, it doesn't square up.
You want consistency.
It doesn't square up. If you're not putting France at second base because you don't like him there, don't tell me you're putting Castellanos in right field and you like him there? So I have issues with the lineup today. And that's just, my thought. Hope they go out and win 11-0, and I hope they don't make a single error and everybody goes 4 for 4.
So today's lineup, not necessarily a defensive-oriented exercise this is. We've got a tough lefty on the mound.
Yes, I get that.
We've
Right.
got one lefty in the lineup in Jackson Merrill, but Jake Cronenworth.
Yeah,
doesn't get
Jake's
that same
out. I get
treatment.
that. And look, I brought this up 2 weeks ago that you might have to start platooning Jake until he gets going, which means that, against lefties, you're going to have to play Ty France at first and put Fernando at second. But if that means Castellanos is getting all the at-bats in right field, then he's going to have to start producing something. You can't just go 1 for 25 with 10 Ks and then not be able to play right field. So, where do you got to give up something. Anyway, I've liked what game is this? 28? I'm 27 for 27. I've liked the lineups. I didn't like today.
So let's have just a quick discussion because we saw Sun Moon Song make his Padres debut over the weekend, but they had an additional roster spot.
Right, so they have already sent him back. They've already sent him back down, yes.
But he's a left-handed hitter and has defensive versatility. When do you think we see him come up and provide, some other looks for this lineup?
I can't do this because I'm going to look like the bad guy if Castellanos picks it up. But the bottom line is I thought it was not a great signing to begin with. All right? And everybody said not cost us anything. We're not risking anything. Yeah, but what it's doing right now is it's keeping Song in the minor leagues. That's what it's doing. Song should be on the ball club. Isn't he more useful to Craig Stammen than Nick Castellanos just in general? He bats left. He can pinch run, maybe steal a base for you. Are you honestly bringing Castellanos into pinch run somewhere tonight? I don't think so. Song can play second, short, third if you need maneuverability there. Yeah. Yes. Song should be up. Castellanos should be down or done. And that's too quick of I'm rushing to judgment. But I can't be the only one thinking that out there. But again, I didn't like the signing in the first place. Everyone told me it's a great signing because they're not risking anything. This is what you're risking, though. You're leaving a guy in the minors who should be here because you're going with Castellanos. And he's save for one fly ball that Jordan Beck brought back in. I can't think of too many balls he's really squared up anyway. All right. Sorry to pick on Nick Castellanos. The guy's had a damn good career, but I didn't think it was the right call to begin with. And again, maybe hopefully the next couple of weeks, look, he's guaranteed to get 2 hits tonight after that commentary. So, if
that's the end result, then so be it.
Yeah, right.
Great.
If I got him to get
Castellanos,
right,
a couple
he'll get 2 hits tonight. Just like old O'Hearn last year when we said that O'Hearn is not a great hitter against lefties, and then we gave all the numbers to support it. And then that very night, he hit a homer against the lefty. And I was like, oh, God. All right, so hopefully I'll be wrong about Castellanos. But doesn't anyone...
I need money's calling it. It says Casty going deep tonight.
Yeah, right, exactly. People know my ability to jinx things into being. So, this isn't the greatest of my powers, by the way, Adam. My greatest power is broadcasting basketball. I've jinxed 98% free throw shooters into missing a pair. So, I have this power. I might as well use it. I try to use it for good, but sometimes it goes the other direction. But does anybody agree, though? Like you'd like to see Campusano in there the way he's swinging the bat right now? It's not like everybody else is hitting the hell out of the ball. Maybe you don't like to DH your catcher. I get that, kind of, but man, he's hitting the ball well. All right. Just little old me here. We got the Daily Gambit coming up. I wonder if my diatribe on the lineup will affect who I picked in tonight's game. We'll discuss that and more after we check. Are we checking traffic here, Adam? I know the traffic's been moving around lately. Is it back in where we are? All right, good. Let people get home. And let me take a break.
All right, it's time for the Beaver Nuggets. So the story is somehow Buc-ee's got brought up. I think Frank brought it up.
Yes.
And it's a rest stop / mall / entertainment zone, super center. And someone said on the chat yesterday that they have like 100 They went to one with like 100 gas pumps, which is a lot, I guess. But while we were talking about this, Sam Levitt was in New York listening, and he goes, "Put me on, put me on, put me on." And so we put him on, and he's talking about how much he loves Buc-ee's. And so we got into the conversation, and it ended up being about the Beaver Nuggets. And so I had to order them because I find the name Beaver Nuggets very gross. I find it gross. But we're going to go with this. It's kind of like a Cheeto / a corn pop.
It's like a cheese doodle.
A cheese doodle. And we're going to eat them right now. I don't think these are bad, but here we go. I like it. It tastes like a corn pop.
I was just saying it tastes like a waffle, really.
It does kind of taste like a waffle. You know what? I'm in. These are good.
Yeah, I'm not.
You want another one?
No, I don't want another one. But yeah, I mean, it tastes like a waffle, like a waffle with syrup on it.
It's pretty good. I gotta say, I'm not hating these at all. Actually, they're very good. I like this. The waffle is a perfect explanation. If you've ever had, I'm sorry, I'm talking on the microphone with food in my mouth. But if you've ever had a what is it? A Lay's potato chip that's waffle flavor. It's kind of like that. Sad Fryer says, "Are they cheesy?" No, they're not cheesy at all. Actually, they're sweet.
No, it's like a hard waffle with syrup on it, with dried encrusted syrup on it.
Now I don't exactly know what the puff is. It could be just fake something.
Most likely. I mean,
it's like caramel a little bit too. All right, I gotta stop eating these because I will eat the whole bag. I love these things. I'm gonna leave them here though because I will eat this if I go home. It's just gonna be a bunch of Beaver Nuggets in my bed as I sleepwalk or something like that. All right, it's time for the Beaver Nuggets. So the story is somehow Buc-ee's got brought up. I think Frank brought it up.
Yes.
And it's a rest stop / mall / entertainment zone, super center. And someone said on the chat yesterday that they have like 100. They went to one with like 100 gas pumps, which is a lot, I guess. But while we were talking about this, Sam Levitt was in New York listening, and he goes, "Put me on, put me on, put me on." And so we put him on, and he's talking about how much he loves Buc-ee's. And so we got into the conversation, and it ended up being about the Beaver Nuggets. And so I had to order them because I find the name Beaver Nuggets very gross. I find it gross. But we're going to go with this. It's kind of like a Cheeto / a corn pop.
It's like a cheese doodle.
A cheese doodle. And we're going to eat them right now. I don't think these are bad, but here we go. I like it. It tastes like a corn pop.
I was just saying it tastes like a waffle, really.
It does kind of taste like a waffle. You know what? I'm in. These are good.
Yeah, I'm not.
You want another one?
No, I don't want another one. But yeah, I mean, it tastes like a waffle, like a waffle with syrup on it.
It's pretty good. I gotta say, I'm not hating these at all. Actually, they're very good. I like this. The waffle is a perfect explanation. If you've ever had, I'm sorry, I'm talking on the microphone with food in my mouth. But if you've ever had a what is it? A Lay's potato chip that's waffle flavor. It's kind of like that. Sad Fryer says, "Are they cheesy?" No, they're not cheesy at all. Actually, they're sweet.
No, it's like a hard waffle with syrup on it, with dried encrusted syrup on it.
Now I don't exactly know what the puff is. It could be just fake something.
Most likely. I mean,
it's like caramel a little bit too. All right, I gotta stop eating these because I will eat the whole bag. I love these things. I'm gonna leave them here though because I will eat this if I go home, it's just going to be a bunch of Beaver Nuggets in my bed as I sleepwalk or something like that. All right, it's time for the Beaver Nuggets. So the story is somehow Buc-ee's got brought up. I think Frank brought it up.
Yes.
And it's a rest stop / mall / entertainment zone, super center. And someone said on the chat yesterday that they have like 100. They went to one with like 100 gas pumps, which is a lot, I guess. But while we were talking about this, Sam Levitt was in New York listening, and he goes, "Put me on, put me on, put me on." And so we put him on, and he's talking about how much he loves Buc-ee's. And so we got into the conversation, and it ended up being about the Beaver Nuggets. And so I had to order them because I find the name Beaver Nuggets.
All right, I got a quick question for you, Adam Klug, before we get to the Daily Gambit today. What does Danny Jansen, TJ Friedel, Lane Thomas, Austin Hayes, Zach McKinstry, Jose Tena, Luis Garcia, Jake Myers, Joey Bart, and Miles Straw have in common? I know you know the answer because we were just talking about this.
Don't make me say it.
I'll say it. They all have one more home run this year than Fernando Tatis Jr. does. It wouldn't kill me if he got that first one out of the way. It really wouldn't. I know nobody's worried. I know he's hitting the ball analytically harder than anybody. I saw him line out a couple of times yesterday. He does seem to do that with regularity. But I will also say, in my own unofficial opinion, if you're hitting the ball that hard and you don't have any home runs, that means you're not getting the ball in the air. Because if you were, it'd be going out of the ballpark. So Padres are winning. All is good. Fernando's doing his thing in the outfield. Today's playing second base. But no home runs for Fernando is just hard to deal with. It truly is. I mentioned the other day, the only other guy of his of his ability category that I'd put in the same as Bobby Witt Jr. didn't have a home run going into the weekend. I don't know if he got one or not, Adam, but other than that, I mean, Fernando's kind of out there by himself right now in the no home run world. Hopefully that'll change.
Bobby Witt does have one.
He got one.
Run.
So then he got one
yesterday.
Oh, well, there you go. So
2 for 5 with a home run and a triple.
All right. So Fernando, now he's not alone. There's others in baseball. Like Miguel Andujar, for instance, doesn't have a home run. In fact, almost anybody on my fantasy baseball team, name them, they don't have a home run. But I'm just saying, of the superstar power of a Fernando Tatis Jr., he's the only one on the goose egg list. All right, let's go to the Gambit. I feel like I'm being too critical right now of a team that's 18-9.
Such a hater, Chris.
Yeah, I know, but you know what? I am a hater in this segment, but so many people say, all you guys do is, you're paid by the Padres to say wonderful things. Now and again, I got to let you know that that's just not true. I think we look at things fairly, to be honest with you. And, to say that Fernando hasn't hit a home run is disappointing. That's not a shocking development, right?
Look, we could be covering the Phillies or the Mets, who are not, 9-19.
I agree. But, Fernando still needs a home run, no matter what our record is. Let's go.
Do you like money?
I think about money a lot.
Do you like money without doing anything?
Winning.
Do you want to make money while watching sports?
I think Washington is immortal luck.
Washington! Woohoo! If you answered yes, this is your segment. Just don't blame us when you lose.
Nothing is ever your fault. It's your game. Take it.
Gwynn and Chris go through the top bets of the day in The Daily Gambit on 97.3 The Fan.
All right, Daily Gambit, more than anything else, is kind of a way to look at some of the games that are coming up on the schedule tonight, kind of pick them one way or the other. I congratulated your Hawks for 2 big wins over the Knicks, but Game 4, that's always the key game. I know people think game 5 is a key game, game 3 is a key game. I always think game 4 of every series is the most key game because you either go up 3-1, you have a hammerlock, or it's 2-2 and you start over. And the Knicks now feel like they can start over because they caught up to the Hawks. Like, for instance, Minnesota beat Denver to go up 3-1, but Ant-Man gone for, a couple of weeks? That's not great news for them. They also lost DiVincenzo to a torn ACL for the year.
Achilles,
thank you. They both left like in the first quarter and a half of the game. And then Ayu Dosunmu, thank you, Chicago Bulls, for giving us him for free. 43 points. Where did that come from? 43 points? Denver needs to win tonight to stay alive. Lakers had a chance to close out Houston. I didn't necessarily expect them to, number one. Number two, it might end up being good for them. The longer they can postpone the second series, the more chance Luka and Reeves have a chance to come back. Tonight we've got Detroit 3.5 over Orlando. The game is in Orlando. Detroit is down 2-1. They are the number 1 seed. They will win tonight, and they will beat the spread because they have to. But again, you talk about a pivotal game. Either Detroit wins and goes home 2-2, or Orlando is like on the verge of eliminating them. Always think game 4 is the big one. OKC's 11.5 at Phoenix. I'm over complaining about SGA. I watched it for about a half a quarter the other day, and then I turned it off. No more than 3 minutes into the game, 2 guys went running for the ball in the corner. He just shoved the guy off the court and grabbed the ball. And the official called a foul on him for pushing off. And the look on his face of, you have got to be kidding me, just made me so angry I couldn't watch anymore. The dude flat out can't do anything on the floor without pushing off with the off arm. And it just doesn't look good for an MVP level player. They're still 11.5 over Phoenix tonight. I'm pretty sure the series is over. I'm going to take OKC to wrap it up. Denver's 11.5 over Minnesota. I don't think Ayu's scoring 43 points again. I'll take Denver tonight. At home to stay alive. Minnesota's going to have trouble closing that series out without Ant-Man. They also have Rockhead Jaden McDaniels on that Minnesota team, who started a fight basically by acting the fool at the end of the game the other day. We'll talk about more of that in the Big Five. Cubs are 1.5 over the Padres. You know, this happened last time the Padres came home. They had the better record. They had the better team. They got the better everything, and they're underdog on their home field, and they are again tonight.
Sounds like an opportunity to make some money.
I don't get it. I don't get, like, the odds makers must think, because the odds makers don't make odds based on who they think's going to win. The odds makers make odds based on trying to get equal betting on both sides, which tells me that the odds makers just think that more people believe in the Cubs than do believe in the Padres. So they have to make the Cubs the favorite so that more people will bet on the other team. I just think it's a great opportunity, you know, if you're into this stuff.
Cubs won 8 of their last 10 coming into this series.
10 of 12. I mean, they had won 10 in a row
Pods
before losing the 2. Yeah. The Padres should not be underdog on their home field. I don't think to anybody the way they've been playing. And I got Vasquez pitching, who's one of my best guys. I'll take the Padres for sure. A much tougher pick is this one, 7.5 runs over or under. It's still April. It's still Petco Park. The ball just doesn't go anywhere. I don't know how many times tonight, because I'm going to go down to the game, Adam. I don't know if you're headed down, but I'll be going down tonight. And I don't know how many times on a night game in April at Petco Park, sitting there with whoever I'm sitting with, in the press box there, and the ball will get hit off the bat, and the first thing we'll say, that's got a chance, and then I'll just go, no, it won't. Because it looks like it's going out of the park when it leaves the bat, and it just dies every time. So I think it's always smart to bet under at Petco Park in April. So I will bet under there. The Dodgers are home to the Marlins tonight. Fish have been better, right? Much better. Just a couple of games under 500. Dodgers got Yoshinobu Yamamoto on the mound tonight. I'd like to believe Marlins could beat them to help us out, but I think the Dodgers get this one. Padres are only a half game back of the Dodgers, and 1 game back of your Braves, right? Braves have the best record in all of baseball.
Please, we're in the Padres' head. My Pods.
Right, your Braves. You're from Atlanta. You can't help yourself. People understand. You can root for both.
Go Padres.
Go Padres, he says. Braves are idle tonight, so to try to pick up a little ground on the Braves. A little hockey. Congrats to the Ducks last night. Comeback win, down 2 goals over the Edmonton, which has won the conference title 2 years in a row. Ducks are now up 3-1. Game-winning goal was disputed, but they can't take it away now. Ducks have the win, and they're 1 game away from eliminating Edmonton. We'll talk more about the Ducks and the Big Five, but nice job, Anaheim. You know who, Riley, might be one of the best coaches in all of sports that no one talks about is Joel Quenneville, who's now the head coach of the Ducks. This guy, look at his record. First with the Blackhawks, and who else? He's been with 3 or 4 teams. Everywhere he goes, though, he wins the Stanley Cup or goes to the finals. He's been a little bit he was in some controversy there in Chicago many years ago.
There's a sexual harassment thing under his watch, correct?
Under his watch, right. He was let go because it happened and he didn't know about it or react to it. But, man, he can coach hockey.
He's coached the St. Louis Blues, the Colorado Avalanche, the Chicago Blackhawks, the Florida Panthers, and now the Anaheim Ducks.
I think he's won more than 4 or 5 cups in different stops. He's really, really good, and now he's got the Ducks having this upset potentially. The other team I'm keeping an eye on tonight, the Utah Mammoth, who are up 2-1 on Vegas. This is their first ever playoff series, and it would only be fitting because you remember when Vegas was a expansion team that 1 year they went all the way to the finals in their expansion season. This year, Vegas may become the victim of a young team like this, ousting them on the way. All right, that's my scoreboard and everything update. When we come back, this Boston Red Sox thing is a lot crazier and uglier and just, I use the word toxic, and Tony made fun of me, but I'm going to throw it in. I think it applies. We're going to be joined by one of the really good senior baseball writers from The Athletic, Britt Ghiroli. Yes, you didn't write it down, or did you? I don't know where it is. She's really good.
It's on the top of your sheet. Okay.
No, wait, hang on. Let me see. Yes, there it is, Britt Ghiroli. I looked everywhere but the top of the sheet.
And it's in the next segment.
Go figure.
She'll be joining us. So.
She's coming up on Gwynn and Chris. On the program, join us on the SDCCU fan hotline. It's not big bank banking. It's better. And speaking of guests, we're going to have one here shortly. Britt Ghiroli from The Athletic, senior baseball writer. Really good interview. Tony and I were able to catch up with her a little while ago, talking about the Boston Red Sox firing of Alex Cora, which is not exactly going over gangbusters there in Beantown. And I did ask her at the end. I think it will be interesting. The Red Sox are on the road right now, but their first appearance home will be Friday night since the firing of Alex Cora. I wonder how the general manager, president, those kind of people will be received in Boston. I don't think it's going to be a love fest based on the reaction we've heard since Alex Cora left. Anyway, Britt Ghiroli will have some interesting stuff on that. If you like Mediterranean food, try Spiro's. Authentic Mediterranean cuisine. It's in Coronado or La Jolla. Dining, takeout options, spiroscuisine.com. Mason Miller extended to the Padre record this weekend, right? He set the record, tied it, set it. 34 2/3 innings. Scoreless baseball for the guy who's easily the most dominant pitcher in all of baseball right now. I don't think there's, even if you were like the biggest Paul Skeens fan ever, I don't think you could argue that Mason Miller's not more dominant than him. I grant you it's an inning at a time, but there's nothing like this that anyone's ever seen. I will say that it's a tad surprising that each of his last two appearances, he doesn't have a strikeout. That's almost more surprising than the streak itself.
I feel like I have unfair expectations for Mason.
We all do.
Because he's not going to be perfect for the rest of eternity. He's eventually going to let up runs. But every time I watch him pitch, I'm like, there's no way anybody's scoring a run.
Nobody's going to touch him. Well, at least the last 2 games, the Rockies and the Diamondbacks have hit the ball against him. But he's still, as striking out, 57% of all the batters he's facing, 60%? I mean, that's everybody. Anyway, the record is his, 34 2/3 innings. The all-time record for a reliever is 41 innings. Greg Olson was a right-hander for the Orioles. Not a tight before he was a tight end for the Panthers.
Or a catcher for the Braves.
There's been a lot of Greg Olsons out there.
So this particular Greg Olson spells his name Gregg.
Right. To differentiate himself.
Do you say Greg with 2 G's or Greg with 3 G's?
2. I think 3
G's
is silly.
G's.
Yes, it does, but no. Nobody thinks that way. But I appreciate you bringing it up. You
kind
do.
Of silly like that.
I think if you say Greg with 3 G's, people are like, what the hell are you talking about? But anyway, Greg with 2 G's holds the record, 41 straight scoreless innings by a reliever. Mason Miller's, starting to creep up on that a little bit. Mason Miller also not that far off. Beyond that would be Orel Hershiser's all-time mark, which was set here in San Diego. He finished that streak off in 1988 with 59 consecutive scoreless innings. That was incredible. And Mason Miller would have to go 25 more innings to tie that, which basically means 25 more appearances, which means he wouldn't be able to give up a run till like August. Well, he hasn't given up a run since August. Last August, that is.
Could you imagine going a full calendar year without allowing a run?
Yeah, if anybody, I think Mason Miller could do it. Let me add to this, because I looked this up too, Adam. You didn't include this in all your research, but good research it was. From what I could find, and I did, checked a lot of places because it's not listed anywhere. Apparently, the most consecutive appearances without allowing a run is 40. And Mason Miller has 33 in a row, I believe, without allowing a run.
So that one's well within reach.
Yeah, he's come out of the mound 33 times in a row since last August when Gurriel hit that home run off him. 33 times in a row, he's not giving up a run. That's the hard thing. Like somebody's going to make an error, right? Or kick a ball, or the ump's going to blow a call or something. But
this is interesting. You said someone could bring up and make an error. Mason Miller is working on an active, consecutive scoreless inning streak. Does that count unearned runs?
No.
If he gives up an unearned run, is the streak alive?
No. Streak's over. Hershiser went 59 innings, no runs. 0. Drysdale before that had 58 or 56 2/3, something like whatever it was. It's incredible what they both did. What Mason Miller's doing also qualifies. All right, let's go to what's happening in Boston because it's a little crazy out there. The firing of Alex Cora, Britt Ghiroli from The Athletic with Tony and I earlier after we checked traffic.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center. Injured? Demand justice. Demand Jurowitz. 855GetRoss.com.
Slow in San Diego on the 5 southbound slowdowns begin near Washington. They stay slow past the 183, finally clearing as you get onto the 94 East, and then the 94 East stay slow onto the 15 South. The 15 North also with a bit of backup from the 5 as you get onto the 94. I'm Tiffany Wickstrom, San Diego Traffic.
And indeed, we are happy to be joined by Britt Ghiroli of The Athletic, who covers the Boston Red Sox. And seems to me, Britt, the Red Sox made a little news over the weekend. Just from your perspective and, kind of now that this has all gone down and Alex Cora is out and so are many of his lieutenants, take us through kind of what you believe and what people seem to believe led to this and how it all went down.
Yeah, well, I think there's a couple prevalent theories that kind of have existed as to why this happened and why now. And one of them seems to be, guys, that Alex Cora did not get along with the predecessor of Craig Breslow, with Chaim Bloom. They often butted heads about analytics versus scouting real baseball people. And there was a little bit of a power struggle between those two. And Chaim Bloom was the one who lost that, was ultimately let go. And I think Craig Breslow does not want that to happen to him. So he kind of got in front of it. And he mentioned at the press conference yesterday even that, there is a danger in doing it too early, but there's a bigger danger in doing it too late. And I think part of the reasoning is somebody is going to pay for this bad start. Somebody's going to pay for the Red Sox struggling. And Breslow did not want it to be him. So he sent a clear message that this is his organization, that John Henry and Sam Kennedy has backed him. And I think that's really the prevalent thought as to why this happened right now. And, in terms of where they are going forward, there's going to be an awful lot of pressure on Breslow now. The first move is always to get rid of the manager if you're the GM to save yourself. Now he is going to be the guy that's going to have to perform, or he's going to be the fourth consecutive guy to run the Red Sox to not make it through 4 years, guys.
Britt, you made it a point to point out in the Athletic article that you wrote that ownership did not speak in that team meeting and really hasn't spoke about anything that has happened, that has transpired over the weekend. When we take a 10,000-foot view, this is something that seemingly has been rolling down this way for quite some time, longer than Craig Breslow and his tenure with the organization. What has happened to this Boston Red Sox organization? This organization was one of the creme de la cremes for quite some time. It has seemingly fallen a long way since then. What has happened overall?
I think, guys, in any sport, you can always look at the top, and it starts at the top. And I think when John Henry first got in, he was seen as this great owner, and he led them to a World Series, and he spent money, and things were great. And then, he started to dip his toes into other sports. And then it became Fenway Sports Group owns the team. And, fans started realizing that, the payroll was going down, that efficiency was becoming king. They started changing directions every couple of years. Like, certainly you don't have to be a top 3 payroll to win the World Series. But one, you're the Boston Red Sox. You should be competing every year. And 2, you can't be treating it like just an asset, because it means a lot to not only Massachusetts, but really the entire New England area. I mean, the Boston Red Sox are a big deal. As you mentioned, they are a historic franchise. And so I think a lot of what has changed is ownership. And I mentioned John Henry didn't speak because not only was he there, guys, and did he not talk to the media? Sam Kennedy did. I asked Sam Kennedy, don't you think this kind of seismic change, letting go of one of the winningest managers in your history, along with 5 coaches, really 6, with Jason Varitek was reassigned and is likely not going to stay in the organization, deserves the owner to speak, deserves, if you want to be an anonymous billionaire, and I've always thought this, then don't own a sports team. Sports are a civic thing. Sports are a community thing. It's a public thing. He could be a billionaire, John Henry, somewhere else. He does not need to own a sports team to be very rich. So what bothered me was he was standing outside the elevator bank when we got done with the press conference. And I asked Sam Kennedy, okay, he doesn't owe the media anything, I guess. You can make that argument, certainly. But we are the people who deliver the message to the fans. And also, guys, he didn't speak to the players. And I asked Sam Kennedy, was he in the players' meeting? And he said yes. But then the players said they didn't speak. Sam Kennedy and John Henry just stood there in this players' meeting. Craig Breslow spoke. Tad Tracy, the interim manager, spoke. Players were not permitted to ask questions, guys, which is a whole separate issue, right? Of basically, I tell you what to do, and this is the knock on Breslow, is that he's a robot with no feel. I tell you what to do. We just fired everybody. You go out there and play. It is kind of how players took it. And to have the owner just, have the owner just stand there and not offer anything. I question why he was even there yet, because he didn't add anything at all. And this has been the case for years and years. And if you want to push back against the rhetoric that you do care about the organization and it's not just an asset, then speak up and say something, because hiding behind Sam Kennedy is not doing them any favors at all.
That's a crazy, crazy story. Britt Ghiroli is with us, senior baseball writer for The Athletic, on this whole Boston Red Sox story, which I thought was just a story, but now I think it's going to just turn into a crazy mess. And maybe the biggest beneficiary of all this could be Mike Vrabel. Maybe this will sweep him in the back pages for a while up in Boston. I don't know. It's crazy times up there. Britt, let me ask you from this angle. I heard some of the players and Trevor's story, I thought, spoke, really well about this and said basically what you said. Like, we couldn't even ask a question. Like, I'm not satisfied with what's happened. How are the fans going to greet the Red Sox Friday when they come back to Fenway Park to host the Twins? Let's just say Craig Breslow took a walk across the, behind home plate about 15 minutes before game time. What would the response be there?
I think he'd be booed. I don't think the fans are going to boo the team. This is not the players' fault. The players have made it very clear that they don't agree with this.
Yeah.
They were shell-shocked as the rest of us. So I don't think the fan response is going to be, visceral except towards Breslow. And it was like this before he fired Cora. People are upset, that he decided to not bring back Alex Bregman, right? That they cheaped out and they couldn't get Pete Alonso either. They lowballed him as well. That they stressed run prevention and they haven't been good at that. That they handed Alex Cora a roster of 5 outfielders and said, figure it out. They all need to play, right? Like, this has been a roster that has been broken, and this is a roster that Craig Breslow created. So, I do think that fans didn't really like the job he did before this, and now that he's fired Cora and this entire staff and said, hey, we're still going to try to win here, I think people are going to like him even less.
Britt, you also not too long ago spoke or wrote about this Padre ownership possibly taking place here, and it sounds like it's at least wrapping up in terms of who's going to end up owning this team. What do you think it says from a larger viewpoint of Major League Baseball? A market like the San Diego Padres is able to sell their organization for a reported 3.8 or 3.5, somewhere around there. What do you think it says, from a large scheme of things in Major League Baseball?
Right. Well, I think it's good. It shows that these valuations are healthy and they're going up. I do think San Diego is a little bit of an anomaly, guys. The weather's great. That venue at Petco Park they can use year round, and they're the only team in town. And certainly San Diego has gotten behind them. My family go to games all the time. Hi, Mom. She's probably listening. She's a big fan as well of the Padres. And so I do think that, it's different than Minnesota, who, as you guys may have remember, had to take their team off the market because they didn't get the asking price, right? And the Nationals, same thing. The Angels, I'm not sure. I've heard Artie Moreno did actually get the price. He just decided to take it off the market. I'm not sure that was a case where they were undervalued or they thought they didn't get enough money. But I think, if you're going to be a billionaire and own a team, and it's a flex, which it is, to all these billionaires to own these teams, you want to own one in a place like San Diego, in a state like California. And so I think that all those things help, certainly. But I also think it's going to be very hard for the owners to cry for and claim that their valuation is suffering when we see things like this.
Britt Ghiroli, I was going to give you a chance to say hi to Mom, but you were able to duck that in during one of your great answers. Well done. We'll try to say hi to Mom for you as well out at the ballpark. Real quick on your way out here, as a senior baseball beat writer for The Athletic, you don't seem to have a shortage of things to write about. In just the last 30 seconds or so, how much longer are we going to all be writing about baseball before we have to turn our attention to what everybody's thinking is coming here in the off season and the stoppage and all this?
Well, hopefully not until the World Series is over, right? I think, we'll at least get a good season and we won't have to worry too much about it. But certainly it's kind of hovering. It's kind of like this black cloud you see, somewhere in the sky, and it's not raining yet where you are. Right. And you're like, it's coming. It's coming. So I do think there's going to be that feeling, especially as we get to the playoffs, especially when the World Series is over. I think the CBA expires in December, right around there. So, once you get to that point in time, I think it's going to be an unfortunate reality. I'm still hoping that we're going to get to a point where we're not going to miss games, but everyone is bracing for lockouts. There are ownership groups that have been bracing for this for years to ensure that they have enough in the reserves. We know the MLB Players Association has more money than they've ever had in the tank. Everyone is bracing for a long, potentially ugly fight. Let's just hope it doesn't come to that, guys.
Yeah, good luck, Britt. We're going to count on you to make it to get them together, Britt. It sounds like I think you can make it happen somehow. We'd appreciate it. Thanks so much for the time joining us out here in San Diego. Have fun there on that story, and whatever the next fun one is in baseball, it won't be far behind. And we hope we were able to get you on again. Thanks for everything.
Thanks, Britt.
All right, guys. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Britt Ghiroli from the Athletic, their senior baseball writer on the mess in Boston. I didn't realize it was that messy. I knew it was kind of like firing Alex Cora was certainly something that was going to not be popular, but I didn't realize they had all of this.
You get a picture shortly after the firing of the whole staff, locking arms and taking a photo with smiles on their face, and Veritek with the thumbs down on like private jet. They looked like they was having a good time. So that kind of told you all you needed to know. Usually you get fired from this kind of job, you might be a little sad, not happy.
You touched on real quick before we went on, Tony, since we have an extra minute here, that Craig Breslow as a teammate.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm not hearing a lot of nice things about this guy. I don't know that that's fair to him, but in
terms of his personality, he's a nice guy for sure. But he is he's a Yale grad. He's kind of a know-it-all in terms of how he sees the game, and it's a very analytic way. I would have never have pegged him to be in this position. He's a very intelligent guy.
Yeah,
but. He's definitely, he always kind of came off like a little bit of a know-it-all, if I'm giving you my humble.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's looking that way, honestly, to the untrained eye. And, I've always felt that people that are brilliant and think they're know-it-alls, that's probably the one thing they're actually missing, is that ability to want to learn and take input from others. It can.
I think Britt hit on it, feel, right? Just having like a normal human being feel.
Yeah.
Instead of the robotic kind of, type deal.
Yes, that was excellent, Tony. An excellent imitation of a robot. All guests on the 97.3 fan hotline, or join us on the SDCCU fan hotline. It's not big bank banking. It's better. We appreciate Britt Ghiroli from The Athletic. Good insight and some good stuff on the Padres as well. And, we may have to track her down, unfortunately, in December when it gets don't happen, but it is that cloud that is off in the distance. Chris versus the fans. We're going to try to cheer you up with that. It's coming up next, 833-288-0973 to play some trivia.
Stay low. Hands on the heart. Stay low. Right on all the way down. Ready to brake. All the way. Here we go. Up there. you idiot. Right. Typical tandem student right there.
I tried. I wrecked your good job, buddy.
Fun, huh?
You need help with anything?
Okay, I'm moving.
And we roll into the 4 o'clock hour. Coming up, little Chris versus the fans. Chance for you to get qualified to win this month's grand prize. Pair of field level seats. See the Padres and Phillies. Game is on Memorial Day. Phillies are not doing well. Who's got a worse record, Adam, off the top? Is it the Phillies, the Mets, or both? Are they the same?
Mets and Phillies are both 9-19.
Wow.
Exact
Second
same record.
Oh, yeah, I did see Mets worst start in, or second worst start in franchise history for the Mets.
Those are the only 2 teams in all of Major League Baseball that don't have double-digit wins.
I hate to call attention to this, Mets fans, but they just got swept at home by the Rockies. The Rockies, normally went on the road about once a month, and they just took all 3. Yesterday, they beat them in a doubleheader. The Mets scored 1 run. Like Juan Soto's still on the club, right? Like, what's going on?
He's working his way back from injury.
Bo Bichette. Guy's like a, superstar. The one thing you can never tell. See, I don't think this is true with Soto. Soto is a big, Broadway type guy. He was with the Yankees. I'm not worried about him. Bo Bichette, who knows? Right? A lot of guys can do it in Toronto. They can do it here. They can do it there. And then they get to New York and they don't do it. And I'm not saying he won't. Maybe he's too good of a player. But, like Jazz Chisholm just hit his first home run. Like, Aaron Judge belongs in New York. Not everybody does. Devin Williams looks like a guy that, like the Mets should have learned that he pretty much shrank in the bright eye of Yankee Stadium. He's not doing any better with the Mets.
This might apply to 2 different players in the New York market, but different teams. But Bo Bichette and Ryan Weathers both grew up kind of in the spotlight a little bit with their fathers playing in Major League Baseball. Do you think that helps at all?
It should help, but they didn't. But their fathers didn't play there, right? Like,
but
Bo
I'm just saying in terms of not being afraid of the big stage.
I don't disagree with you, but Bo Bichette saw games in Coors Field. Ryan Weathers saw games. Was it in Miami? Nobody at the game. I don't know. New York tends to sometimes be too much for some people. I'm not saying it is. I'm just saying the Mets acquired an awful lot of guys that are doing absolutely nothing for them. 9-19. Them and the Phillies. Wow. All right. Doesn't break my heart, either of them. Let's play Chris versus the fans so you can go see those Phillies. Why not?
If you had one shot, one opportunity to take down the human almanac himself,
howdy do.
Now is your time.
Listen to me, this guy is dangerous.
Now is your opportunity to win a prize.
Well, I hope you know what you're in for.
Chris versus the fans starts now on 97.3 The Fan.
All right, we'll give you the rules here in a second. We got people lined up. There's a couple of lines open at 833-288-0973. Before I give you the rules, quick question to follow up, Adam. If I told you right now, one of the 2 teams, the Phillies or the Mets, is going to get it rolling and, get back in the hunt by, the All-Star break and be a contender. But I told you that the other team was just going to continue to flounder near the bottom of the NL East. Which team would you put where?
That's a pretty easy question for me. I have more faith in the Phillies. I have more.
You have more faith in the Phillies.
Yeah, and their lineup with Kyle Schwarber and Bryce Harper and Trey Turner, and obviously they've had a lot more playoff success and regular season success too in recent years.
Okay,
I buy into them more.
You buy into the Phillies. I totally disagree with you, not because I'd like to disagree with you.
Age factor.
Yes, I think the Phillies have all turned old and not very good at the same time. I know.
One or the other. I didn't say I'm confident in the Phillies in general.
Right. Yeah, I'm just saying I think the Phillies have gotten old and not very good all together.
Agreed.
Like Trey Turner he's hitting 230. That's not Trey Turner. Bryce Harper's 260. It's not Bryce Harper. Schwarber's 196. That is Schwarber. Adolis Garcia, way past his prime. Alex Boehm, 143. He's not that good anymore. Anyway, that's what I see with the Phillies. I think the Phillies miscalculated and maybe stayed with their team 1 year too long as opposed to leaving too early.
Bryce Harper is having a solid season after Dave Dombrowski said he was no longer or wasn't elite last season.
You're right. He's having okay, but to me, it's
45 OPS, but 6 homers, 18 RBIs.
All right. He's okay. He's got 1 steal. He's not the same guy. He's not anywhere close. Let's be honest. MVP Bryce Harper? I don't think so. All right. Anyway, we'll see what happens. I don't care. I hope they both suck endlessly. Be fine with me. Let's play Chris versus the Fans. You get 3 questions. They get tougher as you go. And if you get it right, you move on. If you get it wrong, then I can eliminate you if I get the question right. But I miss sometimes. And when I do, that gives you new life. And if you get through the 3rd question safely, you are the winner of Chris versus the Fans. And you'll get qualified for that grand prize chance to go field level Padres Phillies Memorial Day. Adam Klug, if you're a first-time player when Adam calls on you, yeah, right.
You left me hanging there.
I just blew that completely. I just went first-time player. I just way too fast. No way to get in on that. First-time player. There we go. Let us know, and then you'll get the first question for free. All right, Adam, you take over.
All right, we are going to go to our first contestant today. It'll be Jamie in San Ysidro.
Hi, Jamie.
Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Good to have you on. Appreciate you joining us and playing, and wish you the best of luck.
I need it.
I need it, he says. Well, let's see what Adam comes up with here.
All right, this is a little bit of a scraby question, but not totally. Just, kind of taking a shot when he's not here to defend himself.
Well, if it's confusing in any way, then everyone out there is going to know it's a scraby question.
What inning does Jason Adam normally pitch in?
It's fair.
Jeepers,
Jason Adam, it's pretty much his inning. I think this is
7th,
a fair question.
No?
7th, he said. Yeah, gotta buzz you. I think he's an 8th inning guy. I mean, I think that's fair. He can come in the 7th.
Lamar Horn was 8th inning.
7th or 8th. Well, sorry, Jamie. We appreciate you playing. Take another shot down the road.
I only meant in that the idea of trivia is generally facts and this actually
There's a guaranteed answer. Yes, and this is true. He could come in even in the 4th inning.
It's
conceivably
generally accepted that he's the setup man in the 8th inning.
That is generally accepted. So I think we all go by that.
Let's go to Ron and Del Cerro.
Hey, Ron.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Good to see you. Good to see you. Good to have you. I know Ron holds down the fort in Del Cerro there. Look out. All right, go, Adam. Are you still searching for another great question?
I was just waiting for you to stop talking.
Oh, that was kind of mean, but I'll give it to you.
Bend It Like Beckham is a 2002 hit movie about 2 young women pursuing their dreams of playing what sport?
Soccer.
Give me a Keira Knightley in that movie doing a nice job.
Fact. That is a trivia. That is a fact. No disputing what the right answer is there.
No disputing that Keira Knightley was the lead.
There you go.
Did a nice job.
Question number 2. Didn't mean to be mean. I'm sorry, Chris. Came off different.
You're not. Believe me,
as I intended.
I get way worse, from the other guy.
What NBA franchise originally drafted Kobe Bryant in 1996 and then immediately traded him on draft night to the LA Lakers?
Tough, but doable.
I'm not a basketball guy.
Boy, I'm going to tell you better guess because I know this one, so you might as well guess something.
I know. I'm sure you do.
Yeah. I would tell you if I didn't.
Atlanta Hawks.
Atlanta Hawks.
Thanks for the shout out.
Yeah, even the Hawks weren't stupid enough to trade Kobe.
We drafted
Bryant.
and traded Luka Doncic on draft
yes,
night,
but not Kobe. It was the Charlotte Hornets, and give Jerry West all the credit, man. He was the only one. And you look at it now, and you go back and you say, come on, everybody knew Kobe Bryant. No, Kobe Bryant was coming out of high school. Jerry West was the only guy out there that
said
like
the 12th or 13th pick. It wasn't like a top
16, I believe. And Jerry West said, you guys pick him. We'll give you Vlade Divac. And that sounds stupid now to say Vlade Divac. Vlade Divac was like a perennial all-star center at the time. Kobe Bryant came to the Lakers.
You know, 13th overall pick in 96. Thank you very much, Chris.
Let's just so you know that same offseason, Jerry West picked up a free agent center by the name of Shaquille O'Neal. That was a good offseason for the Lakers.
I'd say so.
Yeah.
Let's go to Robert in Vista.
13th pick. Good job, Adam.
Robert, welcome to the show. How are you?
Hi, Robert. Welcome.
Good.
You're in.
Here we go.
Okay, let's go.
How many games was the Padres' longest winning streak this season?
Oh. Wasn't very long ago.
8.
I think he said 8. 8 is great. Does anybody know the club record? This is not a trivia question, but just for fun to talk.
I don't.
It's crazy. It's 14 in a row. The funny thing about it was the year they did it, they finished last. Yeah, they didn't even come close to the playoffs the year they set the record. So it's one of those weird things, a winning streak sometimes. All right, move on. Good job, Robert. You're down. You got 1 down, 2 to go.
What is the oldest of the 4 golf major championships, having first been played in 1860?
Oh, yes. I was the official starter that day.
The Open Championship.
The Open Championships, he says. That's right. Very good. Robert, and spoken correctly.
I almost gave a hint and said I would have accepted 2 different answers for this one, but...
Yeah, Scraby would only select one answer. Scraby hates when I say the British Open, which is why I call it that.
Question number 3.
Yep, this is it. Robert's going to take it down. Robert's a good player, so this wouldn't be surprising.
In the 2004 hockey movie... I'm sorry, go ahead.
Pastor, don't jinx me.
There you go. In the 2004 hockey movie Miracle, Kurt Russell plays Herb Brooks. Which university did the legendary coach lead to 3 national championships before the 1980 U.S. Olympic team?
All righty.
I bet
That's
Chris
a 3-pointer there. That is a 3. Herb Brooks, head coach, Boston University. He says the Terriers. He was a Minnesota head coach.
Golden Gophers.
Thank you very much. Sorry, Robert. I got you on that one, but you're a pretty good player nonetheless. By the way, here's how crazy Herb Brooks was to win. Little known story about that team, and everybody knows all the stories. But Herb Brooks's goalie at Minnesota was a guy named Steve Janisic. He was the top goalie in the country. He led them to the national championship, 3 titles or whatever you just said. Jim Craig played at Boston College or maybe even Boston U, what Robert just guessed.
Jim Craig, the goalie.
Jim Craig, the goalie. So, of course, Herb Brooks was going to go with his own guy in the Olympics. Herb Brooks thought Jim Craig was better and took him over his own guy. Turned out to work out all right. But, I mean, that's a gutty move for a coach, right? You would think you bring your own guy who led you to the national title, right? You'd think he'd be your goalie.
Change that guy's life for the course of history, right? He what could have been, maybe, right?
Yeah, Jim Craig was the hero. Okay.
Do we go on one more, or do you want to go to the tiebreaker?
I want one more since we got plenty of time today. I like to give everybody a good shot.
Let's go with Jason in San Diego. One more in terms of our questions left, Chris. All right?
Yeah, right. I get you. Hi, Jason.
How you guys doing?
We're good. Thank you. Thanks for being with us.
Here we go. What kind of out is the most common out in Major League Baseball? Deciding between strikeout, flyout, pop out, ground out. What's the most common, according to Matt Scraby?
Yes, according to his excellent
according to his research, not mine.
I'm going to go with the strikeout.
He's going to try to read the mind of Scraby, and
best of luck with that.
Oh, it's not a strikeout. I would have guessed a strikeout. It's got to be a ground out. What's left? Can't
fly out, pop out,
ground out,
line out,
ground out. Oh, man, I feel bad. That sounds like a totally unofficial question as well.
That was a horrible question.
Blame Scraby.
Wait, can you put that on tape, Adam, so I can play that tomorrow?
Yes.
I want Scraby to hear Jason saying, that was a horrible question.
Thanks, Jason.
Thanks, Jason. He always thinks I'm the only one who says they're horrible questions.
Let's go to Robert and Santee for the tiebreaker.
Oh, okay, Robert, you got tiebreaker time.
I'm ready.
How about you want me to pick a baseball player?
I've got a question.
You got one?
Well, I've got a question ready to go.
Oh, okay, good.
I'll read Chris the question. He will guess an answer, and Robert can guess higher or lower. Yes?
All right, very good.
How many runs did Tony Gwynn score in his career?
Which one? Our Tony or
the
Tony?
Tony Gwynn Sr.
Whew. He had 3,000 something hits. Could he have scored half the time? That'd be a lot. 1,333.
1,333. 1,333.
No idea.
Over or
under, Robert, for the correct answer.
Well, I'm going to assume he walked a lot as well, so I'll say over, just since some of those probably scored as well.
Over.
Yay! How many over? Was he way over? Did I even get close? I didn't really have a good guess there. I was
Chris, I got to say I'm impressed.
What was it?
1,383.
Get out!
You were
I
off
missed it by 50. That's pretty crazy.
That's impressive, Chris.
All right, well, even more impressive, Robert. You got it right. You're the winner, Chris versus the fans. Congrats today. You are going to have the shot to go see the Phils and the Pods on Memorial Day. Box seats, or they used to call them box seats, Adam. Did you know that? Oh, he's on the line talking to Robert. That's fine.
I did. I heard your conversation.
Okay, you heard that one. Yeah. People used to actually sit at the game in a 2 in the front, 2 in the back, which seems totally crazy to us now. But I think when you think about it, it's easier to talk to all the people in your group if you're in a box seating as you would if all 4 of you are across. Is that agreed upon or not?
I agree.
Right? Because, here's one of the things, this will happen to us, probably to you too, Adam, but we go to the game with another couple. How do you sit it? Usually what happens is I'm on the end, Lori's next to me, then the other wife is next to her, and then her husband's on the far end. I basically got nobody to talk to.
Or you do it the other way, where you do the wives on the outside and or on the inside. The point is 2 by 2, so they can talk to each other.
No, you can't do the
wives
wives
on the outside are just isolated.
That's what I just say. You can't put the wives on the outside because they need to blah 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 blah. So you put the wives on the inside, and that means I don't get to talk to the other husband because he's too far away, and the wives aren't talking to me. So I basically
box seat, the 2 guys.
The box seat, everybody be kind of in a thing. I think you should go back to the box seat. It's never going to happen. People out there are like, Chris, you've got to be nuts. I'm just saying, I don't think it was that bad of an idea. It's long gone now, but all right, we got to take a break because this segment's long gone. More Gwynn and Chris is coming up after traffic. Back to Gwynn and Chris, 425 is the time. Robert, the winner of today's Chris vs. the Fans contest. And speaking of winning, Chris Ello here. Tony Gwynn Jr. is down at Petco, and he'll be back with us for the Big Five here shortly. Scraby's off today. Adam's jumped in here, and, I'm kind of liking that more and more. I don't know how we can go about making that a little more permanent. I'm just saying. Adam, you do a great job. We appreciate it. We do miss kicking Scraby around, but hey, you gotta give a little to get something, as I've always learned. Speaking of winning, though, whatever happened to winning when it comes to our friends at SDFC? I wish I could give you the whole rundown. I don't break soccer down like that. I know that our guests who come on every week, our experts, said that we've had, we're having injuries at the wrong positions in terms of guys that kind of click the last guest we had, it made some sense to me. He said we're hurting in our outside backs. And those are the guys that kind of help you transition it quick from the, defense to offense. At least that's the way it was explained to me. And we're just not able to do that right now. I guess it was 1-1 with Portland, and they were in, extra time, and Portland got one, and, that's it. They win it 2-1, fifth straight loss for San Diego FC. Not easy to lose 5 in a row when, you don't even get one tie in there. If you include ties, they're winless in 8 straight matches. And the thing to me is, like, if they had started out kind of ho-hum, I'd go, okay, well, they're in a slump, whatever. But none of us saw this coming. Like, they got out of they began the season, they were hot, they were rolling, picked up right where they left off. All of a sudden, SDFC can't find its way. Let's just leave it there. They can't find their way. Said the rankings on ESPN, San Diego is sinking. Saturday's loss to Portland was the 5th in a row for a team that was talked about as one of the most exciting projects in the MLS not long ago. Now, they're just fighting for a spot back in a playoff conversation. The good news is the season lasts forever. Like, they're going to be playing from now until the cows come home, especially when you have a month off for the World Cup. So hopefully guys can get healthy again. You got to have, I do, and I think you do if you're a SDFC fan. You got to have, faith in Mikey Veras that, he'll get this turned around. I think, without being too soccer savvy, I don't mind admitting it. I mean, I don't have the same soccer insight as a lot of, some of the other, but I think part of this is just general old sports too, though, Adam. Confidence is a big deal in any sport. I don't care who you are, what you are. If you're like Michael Jordan probably never lacked confidence, like not even once. But I think most of us mere mortals do. And, they're not playing well right now. It's not going their way. You could almost see the other night that it was 1-1 in OT, and they were like trying not to lose. Or not OT, but extra time. And, they lost. So hopefully they'll get it. I'm sure they will. I feel confident that they're going to be okay, but this is stretched on longer than most people expected.
I have confidence in Tyler Heaps. I have confidence in Mikey Veras. So I think the right people are in place. And obviously, Anders Dreyer's carrying over his phenomenal season last year and still scoring at an enormous rate this year. So like I said, I think they got the right people. It's a cold spell. That's what it is.
It is a big cold spell. And the fans apparently were chanting Chucky Lozano's name near the end of that game.
And every time I sit in here with you, I bring up the question of,
I know you
should they at least consider bringing back Chucky? And
maybe
every time you shoot it down, it's like it's not even a conversation.
I think that you've come this far. I think you would undermine everything you've
They dug their grave and now they're lying in it.
Yeah, well, you could look at it that way, I guess, but
they're too stubborn, and they're just gonna they'd rather lose than bring back Chucky.
They won so many games without him last year. You cannot convince me.
They didn't win so many. It was at the very end of the season and into the playoffs. It was 2 or 3 games.
Chucky Lozano was hurt a lot of last year.
I was talking about with the suspension at the end of the year. Sorry.
Okay, no, I'm talking about. I mean, they won a lot of games without this guy. They used to bring him in off the bench, if I recall. I don't even think he started. Maybe whatever. You're right. If they have to end up lying in their grave at the end, then they're going to have to. Yes. If you're an organization, you're committed to a certain standard, whatever you deem that standard to be, and then you deem that Chucky Lozano does not live up to that standard. And again, I'm not there, you're not there, we all hear what we hear, but I think it's pretty clear SDFC wants to do things a certain way. Chucky Lozano does not want to fall in line with that. And they've said, you don't fit here. End of story. You can't say that for 6 straight months and then go, well, okay. I mean, how are you ever going to get anybody to play along the party line if you're just going to give in and say, well, since we need you, we're going to go back on everything we said. I just don't think you can do it, Adam. I think the fans think it's not a big deal, but to me, if that's your organization is built on what it's built on, you can't relax that. So I'm going to keep saying it because I don't think he's coming back, and I'm going to say that I understand why they're not bringing him back. I think what would be really helpful, though, isn't there any way they can work some sort of deal out with any team anywhere so that they can move him on and get something in return? Now that to me could be beneficial.
This sounds overly simplistic, but it doesn't seem like the market's there.
I know, because it hasn't
him.
happened. Well, so then why should they want him? I'll ask that as well. Anyway, another tough one Saturday night. More Gwynn and Chris ahead with the Big Five and Tony's return. The gondola pulls in.
Yeah.
It goes very slow.
Yeah, it slows down for everybody.
Really slow. As we're getting off, over to my left, there's a couple getting in the gondola, going up the mountain. So it's the opposite for them. They're standing there. The gondola comes up. The door opens. You step on. Well, there was a commotion.
Uh-oh.
There was a commotion.
Someone fell?
There was a commotion, and Lori goes, hey, there's a commotion.
She said commotion?
I don't think she said that, but we go kind of not hustling, but walking over there quickly. There's a lady who has fallen as she's trying to get into the gondola. She's now got one leg in the gondola.
Oh, no!
The other leg and body trapped underneath the gondola.
90.
No, she's probably in her late 50s. How do I say this best?
Oh, she's heavyset?
She's in the shape of somebody who's in their 70s. You've got to rescue the poor lady. She's trapped under the gondola. Of course, as soon as she falls and there's the commotion, the guy running the station stops the gondola.
Okay, I was going to ask.
Which means everybody on the mountain and 4 miles away has to stop. Everybody has to stop while we try to extricate the lady from the gondola.
Okay, let me ask you a question.
Underneath the gondola. She's got one leg on the gondola. The rest of her body is underneath the gondola. And when I arrive to see what's going on, I'm kind of the first or second person there.
You're a first responder?
Pretty much. The guy running the gondola place is busy stopping
traffic,
the ride.
Yeah.
No, he's stopping the ride.
Oh, okay, all right.
So we're kind of first there. Lori's behind me. The lady's on her back. She's looking straight up in the air. And the only description I have is one of utter panic and utter terror combined with total helplessness.
Oh, I thought you were going to say embarrassment.
No, total helplessness. She's not only trapped, but she's not even remotely doing anything to help herself. She's kind of in a panic, and you think something terrible is going to happen, or she does.
Okay.
I go over there. First thing, breathe.
That's what you said?
I told the lady to breathe.
That's good.
I said, you're going to be okay.
That's good.
Just breathe.
That's good.
Try to relax.
That was the perfect thing you could have said.
As I'm stupidly pulling this 250-pound gondola, trying to pull it off of her. Yeah. Okay. Well, you're getting
the gondola is way heavier than 250 pounds.
Yeah, right. 1,000-pound gondola.
So you're trying to move the gondola.
Just move it a little.
Is her leg how is she attached to this gondola?
Well, I told you her one leg's actually on the gondola. in the doorway.
Okay.
Then the rest of her body's underneath. What is stuck with her in the gondola is her belly, not her leg.
Oh, no.
That's right. Okay.
No.
So I'm pulling. By the time finally a couple more people pull and we are able to get enough airway to get her to scramble out of there. And then she immediately stepped on the gondola to go take her ride up the mountain. And off she went.
This is
I felt like I saved her life. I really do. I honestly feel like I almost saved her life.
I kind of will credit you with this.
You know, she was, I think if I didn't tell her to breathe, I think she would have gone into some sort of shock or whatever you do.
No,
she was
you're
going
right.
into a
You're right.
panic, Scraby.
You're
She was going
absolutely
into
right.
an absolute panic. And, you know, I had to, calming her down, I think was the number one thing. She wasn't in any real danger, but she wasn't feeling great because she was trapped under the gondola.
But
the
fact
look
that you said her belly was...
Yes, her belly, yeah. I'm telling you, Scrabe, it was a factor. And there was, you know, there's a couple of people pulling on an arm trying to drag her out.
I'm crying.
I know. There's people on the other side with her arm. They're trying to drag her. I'm like lifting the gondola so she can get a little room to get out of there.
You're like, hey, I'm going to take the gondola. It's lighter.
All right. I didn't say that. You did. But it was quite the scene.
I am happy that she's okay, obviously.
She's fine. She got right on the gondola.
If this was a worse story, I would not be laughing. But she's fine. You did probably help her a lot more than you think you did.
I think so. Because she was able to calm down just a tad. The gondola pulls in.
Yeah.
It goes very slow.
Yeah, it slows down
like
for everybody.
really slow. As we're getting off, over to my left, there's a couple getting in the gondola, going up the mountain. So it's the opposite for them. They're standing there. The gondola comes up. The door opens. You step on. Well, there was a commotion.
Uh-oh.
There was a commotion.
Someone fell?
There was a commotion, and Lori goes, hey, there's a commotion.
She said commotion?
I don't think she said that, but we go kind of not hustling, but walking over there quickly. There's a lady who has fallen as she's trying to get into the gondola. She's now got one leg in the gondola.
Oh, no!
The other leg and body trapped underneath the gondola. And we are loving life in the Bill Howe Studios. We know how. Crisello, Tony Gwynn Jr. at Petco Park, Adam Klug in for Scraby. And man, when Adam Klug's here, that means listen up, because the Big Five has a chance to really be something today. It's coming up after traffic.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center. Injured? Demand justice. Demand Jurowitz. 855GetRoss.com.
The 5 South in San Diego being affected by a crash just past the 75, past the Coronado Bridge exit. And I'm looking at slowdowns on the 94 eastbound from the 15 getting onto the 805 South. So watching a crash on the 78 west near Rancho Santa Fe. I'm Tiffany Woodstrom, San Diego Traffic.
This game day traffic report is brought to you by Crystal Geyser Alpine Spring Water.
What makes Crystal Geyser Alpine Spring Water different? We always bottle our Alpine Spring Water less than 1.5 miles from the spring source, and all our bottles are made with 50% recycled plastic from our own recycling plants. Crystal Geyser, bottled at the spring source.
It's that time of the show when we check on the latest in sports. Only the most important topics and questions are brought to light.
Stop what you're doing and listen.
These news stories will astound and amaze you. The one, the only.
Oh my God, who the hell cares?
The Big Five starts now on 97.3 The Fan.
I want everybody to pay special attention here over the next 20 minutes. This isn't just any old Big Five that Scraby threw together. We're stepping up today. Adam Klug is running the Big Five.
Oh, boy.
Yes.
Oh, boy.
I think Tony sounded like
Try
he
to
was
contain your excitement,
I was going
Tony.
to say, I think he sounded pretty excited there.
That was exciting.
You sounded like you're pretty excited.
I'm excited for your Big Five, man.
Let's see what Adam brings to the table today.
All right, let's get going, guys.
Number 5.
We've talked quite a bit today about the Red Sox firing their manager, Alex Cora, which shifts the microscope to other struggling managers. Astros GM Dana Brown gave a dreaded vote of confidence to manager Joe Espada over the weekend, whose Astros are 11-18, while Phillies manager Rob Thompson spoke openly over the weekend about his job security amidst the Phillies' 9-19 start to the season, saying it's natural for people to ask about his job security based on how the season has gone, but he's never worried about his job status in his entire career. Toss up. Start with you, Tony. Which manager is more likely to be fired next, Joe Espada or Rob Thompson?
Ooh, very good question.
Scraby doesn't put us in...
Are we betting on the demise of others now?
No, I just want you to
Where's
know. Scraby doesn't put us in such predicaments like this where, this is hard for us.
I don't necessarily like having to fire somebody, but I would probably say Rob Thompson. And the Astros, and listen, we're watching it with Boston as we speak, so it's not unheard of for the front office to fire a manager despite them sabotaging said manager. So this would fall into that kind of bucket if it was Joe Espada, because the Astros haven't done anything to address their starting pitching, which has been crushed by injury.
Don't they still have an ERA over 6 as a team? I don't know how any manager is supposed to win with that.
It's up there. So I would say it's Rob Thompson because he has a roster that is expected to win and has high expectations. I don't know how you don't have Mendoza on this same conversation.
That's what I was
because these guys addressed it over the weekend. That's why. If you'd like to go off the board, you can go with Mendoza.
That's Tony.
I would say those are the two right there, really.
Yeah, I was going to go off the board with Mendoza. The Mets are built, to win it. I mean, they have more money. How much money did they spend in the offseason? I mean, between Peralta and Devin Williams and Bo Bichette, Marcus Semien, Polanco. It's unbelievable how much money the Mets have spent
one
on
off season after spending on Soto.
Right on top of Juan Soto. Right. I can't imagine. I can't believe Mendoza's still there based on all of those things. And I mean, being swept at home by the Rockies, I don't know that you can go a whole lot lower than that. I believe they scored 3 runs the whole series. So, I mean, that's a lot of money that's being wasted in New York. On the other side of all of this, and I know Cora's out, and it is an interesting season the way that so many supposed good teams are off to really, really bad starts. But correct me if I'm wrong, Tony. The Astros went to a World Series, I think, and maybe even won it in a year that they started the season like 10-27.
Yeah,
and the
true.
Nationals for sure won a World Series with Dave Martinez, and they had the worst record through 40 games in franchise history. Why are we all of a sudden doing this so quickly? I mean, it's still 27 games.
It feels like in the Astros case, people are still viewing this team as that Astro team.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Like, I think they have won so much that now nobody's even looking at the actual roster to say whether they should be in this predicament.
They've lost so much talent.
Jordan Alvarez is really the only.
They've lost talent every year, it seems like, after they won.
Yeah.
Look, guys, if Carlos Mendoza wants to make this question, either he or David Stearns can talk about the job security over the weekend, make some headlines, then they make it in the question.
Then you'll put him in there. Well, we're putting him in there anyway.
I was about to say, you know what? That may be the answer right there. You haven't heard Mets ownership come out and
maybe they're trying to secretly figure out how to do it.
Now, the interesting...
I tell you what, Alex Cora is now available
could you
for the Red Sox.
Well, could you imagine? Wow.
I could 100% see him there.
Well, do you remember who hired Alex Cora in Boston? Dave Dombrowski. Where's Dave Dombrowski now? In Philadelphia.
Oh, boy.
So if you want to connect the dots, I'm just saying.
Managerial firings create strange bedfellows, as I like to say, I think.
Number 4.
Mike Tomlin will join NBC's Football Night in America, and he gave his first interview since resigning from the Steelers to his new colleague, Maria Taylor, saying his decision to step down wasn't made overnight and that he felt it was a good time for both himself personally and for the organization for him to step down, especially after the team's lack of playoff success in recent years. Tomlin was also asked who he believes will be the Steelers quarterback next year, and he said if you put a gun to his head, his guess would be Aaron Rodgers. Which of these two comments is more interesting to you, Chris? Tomlin's reason for stepping down, or him predicting Aaron Rodgers would be the Pittsburgh starting quarterback next season?
Well, first of all, I like to always believe Mike Tomlin. I think he might be one of the last straight shooters left.
Right.
But I don't think he's telling the whole story as to why it was time for him to step down. I just got to believe there had to be some pressure. You know, if it wasn't from the fans and the people who follow the Steelers being so noisy about it, it had to start trickling through that organization that they just could not produce in the playoffs. And I think Mike Tomlin himself just realized that he needed another situation. And to me, what's best for Mike Tomlin was to get out of Pittsburgh, reset, refresh, do a half a year of television. If he makes it through the whole season, I'll be surprised. And then go back to work. And he's a football coach, and I think he's going to be best served coaching football. As far as Aaron Rodgers is concerned, I don't know. Does anybody disagree with his take on that? I mean, Aaron Rodgers said he was going to make his decision by the start of the draft. Nobody believes anything that Aaron Rodgers says. And we also believe that Aaron Rodgers is going to take and keep the spotlight on him and his decision for as long as he can. And then he'll come back. That's what we're used to. That's what we expect.
Tony, what do you think? Which of these stories is more interesting?
The first one, and it's for not the same reasons as Chris said. I think I buy what he's saying in terms of he himself felt like, I think the exact words he used was that the veterans that he kind of helped raise were owed an opportunity for a new voice and a chance to compete as they see their careers kind of winding down. I believe that it took him a while to get to that point in terms of whether it was time to move on. I don't think he completely disagreed with what Chris was saying. I think that was also a part of the calculation, but I don't know any head coach or athlete that willingly gives up a job unless they're actually ready to do something else for a little bit.
I think that's a fair point on Mike Tomlin too, Tony, because Mike Tomlin is the ultimate competitor. And I don't think any of us could tell him we think he's doing less than a stellar job. And then that would make him not think he's doing his best.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Right.
So
yeah.
I think you're right.
And so I think it was kind of a combination of all of that. And, you know, I expect that he won't coach for the next couple of years. I think he is going to take a break, but I don't think he's done. I just think I think he saw an end point to where he was. Just listen to what he said yesterday, and that he owed it to some of those guys in that locker room to give them a shot to possibly, you know, get a little further. He kind of hit on their lack of success in the postseason and not being able to really move the needle at all. So I think it was a combination of all of it.
Well, I hope he can. Let's see. How long do you think the guy's going to last in Miami? The new guy from Green Bay. Still don't even know his name. Halfley. Give him like 2 years, 3. So maybe Mike Tomlin can hold out that long.
Won't be Halfley ever after?
No, I don't think so. No, that's funny.
I don't know that.
That's good.
I don't know that he'll want to pop in a rebuild. He'll want to come to something I think is kind of.
Oh, well, then that leaves the Dolphins out.
He's coming from the Steelers. I have a hard time believing he's going to be able to.
They're going to push Sirianni out in Philly. It's already in the same state.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go. Well, it's Dave Dombrowski football version.
There you go.
There, you've got him. You got it all figured out.
Number 3.
All right, sticking with the NFL, former Steelers running back, but for in this story, we're going to stick with former Jets running back Le'Veon Bell, went on Justin LeBoy's podcast called Respectfully, and he went scorched earth on his former Jets head coach, Adam Gase. We can't play the audio because of the salty language, but Bell called Gase the dumbest coach ever, told stories of their weird interactions, and went on to claim he witnessed Gase snorting cocaine in his office at the Jets facility on multiple occasions. Tony, point blank, do you believe Le'Veon Bell's accusations about Adam Gase snorting cocaine in his office?
No, I mean, that one seems like he went a little far. He was podding, as they say. He was, trying to get off the best clips that he could possibly get off. However, I have heard him tell the story about Gates, or what's his name?
Gase.
Gase,
yeah.
I do recall him telling a story to I think it was Marshawn Lynch and someone else about a story in which they were supposed to play against a team that the run was.
Yes, he talked about that in this podcast too. The Bengals. He said it was raining, and the Gase pulled him aside and said, "It's raining. We're going to throw the ball 40 times."
40 times.
And the Bengals had the worst run defense, ranked 32nd in the NFL. And Le'Veon just looked at him and was like, "It's raining, and they have a terrible run defense. What are we doing?" And they lost the game.
It is funny because Marshawn Lynch and both, I think it was Robinson that he does the pod with, were both looking at him like, was he serious? And then they went out. He proceeded to tell the story. They got boat raced by the Bengals because they tried to throw it 40 times. So I believe that part of it. I don't believe the snorting cocaine, but there's no way he would have been able to do that and we not find out about it, at least on multiple occasions. I think that's
what he said. He said he witnessed it with his own two eyes. Chris, I'm sure you have plenty of positive things to say about former Dolphins coach Adam Gase as well, right?
I got to give him something. He got the Dolphins to the playoffs. I don't know how in the world that happened, but he did do that one year. There's a couple of things on this because I mean, when these guys go scorched earth like this and we listen to it and then we all report it and we all talk about it.
We're spreading it if it's misinformation.
That's right. So it doesn't even really matter in a lot of ways whether we believe him or not, because now it's out there that Adam Gase was snorting cocaine. Look, this is kind of a joke, but if you look at the guy's eyes, how the hell do they get like that? I mean,
there you go.
That's kind of silly, but what I want to compare it to is, I mean, I read something today, and maybe you guys saw this as well, but now Ty Law, the old New England cornerback who was a great Super Bowl guy, said that, he and the guys used to stop by Mike Vrabel's locker because Vrabel always had a flask there before practice. And they'd all take shots of booze and then go out and practice, and that Vrabel was the guy who started the party. Again, I don't know whether I need to believe this or not, but the point is it's just more out there now to cast against Mike Vrabel's character. And so, I feel some type of way about Le'Veon Bell being given the
platform.
The platform to go out and just say all this stuff. And I mean, Adam, would he say this with Adam Gase around, and would Adam Gase have a chance?
The way he spoke about Gase, he would say it right to his face.
It sounds like Adam Gase is kind of a goof. I'm not denying that, but to take apart the guy's character without even giving him a chance to respond, and now what Ty Law's doing, I mean, it's kind of just jumping on and kicking people when they're down. So I think we have to try to take it with a grain of salt, even though we're the ones that spread the news.
Well, let's see if Gase comes out and denies it.
Number 2.
Nikola Jokic and Julius Randle got into a kerfuffle on Saturday night at the end of Minnesota's blowout win over Denver when Jaden McDaniels shot an uncontested layup with just 1.3 seconds remaining. Jokic felt McDaniels violated an unwritten rule of basketball by scoring a meaningless, uncontested bucket after everyone stopped playing, while McDaniels defended his actions by saying the clock was still running, so he was going to score. Heard of unwritten rules of baseball. I didn't know he had unwritten rules in basketball, too.
Okay.
The league decided not to issue any discipline in the matter. Chris, do you have any issue with Jaden McDaniels scoring this meaningless bucket?
Oh, okay. I thought they did actually fine Jokic and Randle.
I'm sorry, in terms of suspension, there's no suspension.
Oh, right. Yeah, they got fined for the pushing shoving incident.
Nothing on the court that'll affect those series.
Right. Well, first of all, Jaden McDaniels a rockhead. I mean, let's just start there. After game 2, he came out and said that none of the Denver guys could play a lick of defense. That just seems like a stupid thing to say when you're playing against these guys in the playoff. Even if he's right, I don't think it's something you say. I think I do. I've always felt like there's a little class, and you win with class. And going down and making a layup with 2 seconds to go is basically just starting. To me, it's pouring more fuel on the fire. And maybe that's what Jaden McDaniels wanted to do. Jokic, to his discredit, gave it too much attention by running all the way down the court and confronting him.
Right.
Had he just let it go, most people wouldn't even have noticed that he made the layup because the game was so over that no one was really paying attention. Jokic called attention to McDaniels being a rockhead, and I think he should have just let it go.
He gave it more air, as they say.
I agree, but nothing's going to change the fact that I'm convinced now that this McDaniels guy is just kind of a kook.
Tony, what do you think? Unwritten rules, okay with him scoring a bucket?
Interesting. What does that say about Dutch's recruiting efforts then? If he's a
well, he got his brother, so he didn't get him.
Well, they recruited him.
Oh, but they did
recruit Washington. Yes, they did.
Well, he should have played for Dutcher. He would have known better, Tony. I'm going to say it that way.
I love that McDaniels is being the antagonist for
okay.
and not only that, he's backing it up with his play. And so at this point, Denver really is frustrated because they're down 3-1 to this ball club right now. And so, or 2-1, whatever it is.
No, it's
right
3-1.
now.
Yeah.
It's 3-1. Yeah. So, it's all bad if McDaniels can't back up his talk. I don't agree with him scoring the bucket at the end, though. I think, and Mike Connolly kind of took the blame because he said he threw it down there to begin with. And when he looked up, he saw who it was, and he already knew what was going to happen.
He was like, "Oops!"
Exactly. And so, yeah, I think Joker did give it too much air.
Yeah,
I didn't mind him going down there and confronting them. I mean, if you feel that way and you wanted to at least be known that you disagree, that's probably the way you're going to do it. But it could have been done in a way that didn't cause such a fracas and cost him some money at the end of the day.
Number one.
We have a decent number of Anaheim Ducks fans in the audience, and they were at the center of controversy last night. The Ducks, not the fans.
Not the fans.
In the first round of the NHL playoffs, holding a 2-1 series lead over the Edmonton Oilers. The two teams went to overtime in Game 4, and Ducks forward Ryan Poehling scored what appeared to be the game winner that would have given the Ducks a commanding 3-1 lead. The majority of the puck pretty clearly crossed the goal line, but it was hard to tell if the entire puck cleared the line because it was blocked by the blade on the skate of Edmonton's goalie. The refs did not signal for a goal initially, but then they all got together and conferred and ruled it a goal pending a review.
Before the review, they got together. There's no way. Sorry, I'm interrupting your question because I saw this all happen.
It's okay. It's your show. Your name's on it, Chris. Go for
Whatever. Thank you, Scraby. And your name's not on it, Scraby. Oh, I know. We've had this discussion in the past.
Aware.
That's why you're throwing it out there. I just saw how this all went down, and I didn't like it. There's no way either referee saw something different.
They weren't
after
close.
they ruled no goal. So I don't know how they decided that it was a goal before going to replay.
The point is, nobody ruled either way. They just let it go. They conferred, ruled it a goal, and then it went to the review center. And they have to find conclusive evidence if they're going to overturn the call by the refs. They didn't. The call stood. The Ducks win. They're up 3-1. You guys have both seen it. Chris, do you think that it should have been counted as a goal?
No. And here's why. Well, man, I don't know about the goal, because it was really hard to tell. It looked honestly like it was all the way over the line, but you couldn't tell for sure because the guy's skate was covering it. But I just want to bring in our hockey expert, Jesse Agler, for his opinion on this. And Jesse Agler's opinion on this, without me even asking, would be the same as it is in baseball when you get to one of these things where is there enough evidence to overturn the call? That has got to go away in all sports. The bottom line is you're either safe or you're out. And when replay looks at it, call it accordingly. And to me, it's the same thing on this. The puck was either over the line or it wasn't. Doesn't matter. Shouldn't have mattered what the refs called is what I'm saying. Because if the refs would have called no goal, then the replay would have said no goal. And if the ref said goal, the replay did what it had to do because there was nothing conclusive. That to me is stupid. Either the puck was in or not. And that's where the problem lies here.
Tony, what do you think?
It should have been a goal. Puck looked like it crossed that line, even if I couldn't see because of the blade. I do have at least a memory of where the line looked like it ends and where that puck reached, and it looked like it got past. And so, but I do agree with Chris that it shouldn't matter what the original call is. Take a look, go from there. What do you think?
That's what I mean. Why can't they do that? Why does the official have to make a definitive call before they go to replay?
Just a new wrinkle in sports. Just we're not going to make the call. We'll let the review center call it.
We were not sure. I mean, that would have been an acceptable ruling to anybody watching that game because it was very, very close. The puck slid toward the goalie out of the corner. It wasn't even it was a crazy angle shot. And then the puck very slowly squeezed out under the pad and rolled toward that line before it was shoved back underneath by the defenseman's stick. So I think it would have been fair for the officials to say, hey, it was really close. We need to go to replay to decide it. I think that'd be acceptable. Instead of making the refs guess completely and then basically ruling because there was not enough evidence to overturn it, they'd have to rule what the officials guessed. That's not the best way to do it, I don't think. All right, that's it for the Big Five. Adam, you were really good. I don't know that we even did enough to meet your standards, but we tried. Coming up, Sam Levitt's going to join us for the 5 o'clock hour. Talk about the Pods' visit to Mexico City. More ahead on Gwynn and Chris. And what is before they try, what is the heat index they're facing? Do we know? Or
Well, you could look up the Scoville on a ghost pepper.
Yeah.
It's one of the world's hottest. There's a couple of hotters.
Scoville's the measurement unit.
The X pepper and all of that.
Thanks for the education because I did not know.
I've allowed milk and bread, but if I was asked,
tell us the actual rules of this. Like
the rule is,
see if you can do it. I guess
you guys alternate spoonfuls until one of you can't.
One of you can't do it anymore.
Yeah.
That's not happening.
Until you can't do it anymore.
I will take
and
one.
The winner,
spoonful of
Scrady,
this.
has a jar of a couple of my jars.
I think they both are winners if they pass this. I hate to
winners.
say, yeah.
Yeah, of course.
There will be no back and forth. There will be one spoonful.
Now, this is the one that he has right now.
The 38?
Maybe.
Okay. All right.
Now, this right here, I've been putting on some of my turkey burgers.
Good stuff.
This is hot.
Okay.
Right, we doing
All
it?
right, here we go.
All right. Let's
Adam's
do it.
ready. There, away he goes. He does
the-
have a full spoonful for those listening. on that.
I'm literally sweating watching him do
a
this
full
right now.
spoon?
That's a full spoon.
All right.
That is a full
down
spoon.
the hatch we go.
All right.
And man, he went the whole thing. He did not. He did not trickle that down the throat. He just
hasn't reached for the milk yet.
Scraby's coming over.
When does the heat kick in?
Oh,
I knew it.
When does the heat kick in? Wow.
You better go, dude.
There goes Scraby.
They both
Scraby,
did.
did you swallow that, Scraby? Yeah.
That is some good stuff.
It's delicious.
delicious.
We're gonna see it. I'm gonna watch you now.
I'm feeling it already. I am. Are you?
No.
He's
Adam's
feeling good.
feeling nothing. All right, so take another spoonful, Adam. You'll win.
Oh, come on. Now we're double dipping.
He's all
you
one
can't put your
spoonful.
same
That's
spoon
not
in
what the
there.
competition's all about.
We always said
Spoonful
that.
too?
Yeah, go for
Oh
it.
yeah.
I always said that Adam Klug was kind of had a.
I at least used a different spoon, no double dipping.
All right.
I didn't know where. I don't.
I
Think
always
it
thought
matters.
Adam Klug had a cold persona, but evidently it's just the opposite.
All right.
Big
He
boss
is
Michael
handling
Valenzuela
it.
in the
Wait,
YouTube
no,
chat,
dog.
by the way.
Which way now? You let laughing it drip in your hand. Oh, okay.
Scraby, where are you? Let me see.
Okay.
I'm just looking at Adam, and Adam's not having any problem at all.
Look at you, Adam.
Adam is backed up.
But this
I must tell you, Tony,
wait,
that Adam has cashed the check.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah,
he did.
cashed
You said
his
I wouldn't be
check.
able to cash
I
it.
did.
No, you
I
cashed
sure
it,
did.
man.
You proved
cashed
me
it
wrong,
for
my
sure.
friend. I
Scraby,
gotta tell you though, this is further proof that whatever we got him with that
the
tie,
tie thing,
was
yeah, 'cause
super weak.
this is less than a 10,
he's
right?
He's over here having a difficult time.
You're turning a little red,
The tie
Scraby.
was just as bad.
You're turning a
This
little
hit me
red.
By the way,
faster.
this is delicious.
Oh my
Oh,
God!
he's
Scraby,
going
another
for
one.
Yes.
Come on, Adam. Wow, you're gonna have to come back in 6 months with like an 88.
Oh.
It's 38.
We'll have to go with the higher Scoville next time.
All right. Oh, wow. Look at this guy. He's talking trash now.
Well, he
I haven't had a sip of milk or bread.
He hasn't even reached for it.
No, he doesn't
came out
even
of the
need the
gates
bread.
talking trash.
All right.
All right. Now
Hey,
I'm
man.
going to take another one.
What?
Well,
Why
you
are
got a
doing
whole
this
other
to
spoon?
yourself?
No, because I don't want.
You don't want Adam to say he
By
has
the way,
sweet sauce,
yeah,
baby.
get the whole
Full spoon,
get the same
baby.
thing that look. He's dropping it all in there.
Keep the studio clean.
It's all anybody's
Big
worried
boss
about.
Michael watching over here. Come on.
Ooh, boy, Scrabe, get back in front of the camera. Your face is red, Scrabe, isn't it, Tony? Are you
I'm
seeing
sweating.
the same thing?
You are sweating. Your face is definitely.
Why do you keep doing this?
You're not feeling anything?
Adam isn't even
Anything?
moved over
I
there.
feel a 1 or maybe a 2 out of 10 here.
Wow.
Adam
That's ridiculous
Klug.
because I'm.
Wow.
Adam Klug is a tough
Jamie's
son
not
of a
bent
gun.
over the trash can.
No,
over
I had
there.
to spit.
I was going to say, it looks like Adam Klug may be producing the rest of the show because he's fine. Scrappy may need
Scrappy's
to
going
go
to
get assistance.
Here's
Want the milk, dude? It might
Frank
work
predicted
better.
that.
No.
Oh, did he?
Frank
Scrappy's having
predicted that.
bread.
Oh yeah, that Adam would just cruise through this with
Frank
no problem.
predicted this.
He did.
Frank on the last show.
Yeah,
said
you
Adam
had
would
it
have
like
no
that.
problem.
He did.
I got a newfound respect from Tony Gwynn Jr.
Yes,
here.
you do.
So-
all right.
So Scraby has the prizes for you, Adam. You have one, a jar of the ghost
You can
pepper
have as much of this
salsa
as you want at all
and
times.
the,
Yeah.
Mr. Lane's Roasty 38 chili powder.
You should let me have that chili powder though. I think I do. I think I would do more damage.
Started
with
off
this.
giving me the mild.
And what is before they try, what is the heat index they're facing? Do we know? Or
Well, you could look up the Scoville on a ghost pepper.
yeah.
It's one of the
Suspect.
world's hottest. There's a couple of hotters.
Scoville's the
Reaper
measurement
and
unit.
the
Okay.
X pepper and all of that.
Thanks for the education because I did not know.
I've allowed
Yeah.
milk and bread, but if I was
So
asked,
tell
I'd
us
have
tell us
said
the
no.
actual rules of this. Like
The rule
Want to see if he
is
can do it.
Ready to go.
Hey, we head into the happy hour. I just happened to click on the stream right now. You can watch the show on YouTube. You know that. Go to Gwynn and Chris. Anyway, the look on our esteemed colleague's face, Sam Levitt, as I was yelling out, "Welcome to the happy hour," looked less than happy. That's all I can say. Sammy, are you there? Are you at the Western Metal Supply Company building up there?
I am here inside the Western Metal Supply Company building. I apologize. I was in the midst of cutting audio, and that's my cutting audio face.
That was your cutting
looking at
audio
the,
face. That's so
looking at the
funny. We just
laptop,
caught
so.
that right at the last second. Sammy was you're definitely engrossed in something, but we appreciate you coming on, Sammy. As always, I love talking a little Padre ball with you. We'll get into tonight here in a little bit. I want to kick around a few things with the lineup and playing the Cubs, but let's talk about, just the whole Mexico City experience. Obviously, to anybody's eye, they ended up winning the game. It looked like they were going to lose, and then they lost the game. It looked like they were going to win. So, probably turned out the way it should have. But overall, your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, look, you would have loved to win both. You certainly were in a position to do that yesterday. And I think any game, whether it's in Mexico City or not, that you have a 6-run lead pretty late in the game, you want to find a way to win it. Is it the end of the world? No, considering how well they've been playing and simply finding ways to win. And also, sure, there were elements of it being in Mexico City that certainly, I think, contributed to that comeback. Does that Tawa home run, the grand slam, get out in another stadium at sea level? I would think probably not. So there was a little bit of that, but like Craig Stammen alluded to yesterday in the post-game press conference, any game where you have that kind of lead late, no matter what relievers you're using, you want to find a way to win the game. But I think you zoom out, Chris, you look at the road trip. They won 2 out of 3 in Anaheim, 2 out of 3 in Colorado. They split in Mexico City, a different place to play with the elevation and all the factors and the travel that go into that. So all in all, I think the fact that they come home 18-9, that's a pretty good place to be.
Yeah, feeling pretty good. And, I forgot to mention this to Tony earlier. And when we were rehashing the loss yesterday, we just blame it on the new owners, right? They were at the game. It was the first time they'd been to a game yesterday. I found it kind of interesting, by the way, that everybody's talking about we have to call them the assumed new owners of the Padres, Mr. Feliciano and Kwanzaa. But they were at the game yesterday, and of course they were sitting up in the box with Rob Manfred, and everybody kept showing them like, yeah, there's the Padres' suspected new ownership. Anyway, I'm assuming that's them. But Manny said after the game, I wish we could have got a win for them. I hope they didn't see the real Padres though, Sam. They saw the bizarro Padres yesterday with the way that turned out. And frankly, I know Morgan's going to get all the heat and Brad Glay and even Marinaccio, I guess to a certain extent. They give up 10 runs, but there's a couple of plays that weren't made. There was some ground ball, seeing eye stuff down the line. It was just one of those instances where the ball bounced pretty good for Arizona, frankly.
Yeah, I mean, look, there are a number of things you could look at that were a little bit weird. The ball that bounced down the line, again, there were a couple of them. If they're playing in a non-Mexico City infield, maybe it's a bit of a softer bounce on the dirt and coming out of the batter's circle, and maybe it finds Gavin Sheets at first base, or maybe Manny can get to the ball down the third base line. So between the Tawa Grand Slam and some of the oddities that I think come with playing on that surface and at that elevation, to me, Chris, it just felt like one of those days and one of those games. Again, it doesn't necessarily excuse having a 6-run lead late and not winning the game. You want to win a game like that no matter where you're playing, but felt like the Mexico City part of it, the elevation part of it, the harder surface, felt like it certainly played a role. And I will say this, you were kind of waiting around during those two games for things to maybe get a little bit crazy, like they did that first game in Mexico City in 2023 against the Giants, where 11 home runs get hit and it just got wild. You were sort of waiting for that to maybe happen at some point, and it felt like in the late innings yesterday to the Diamondbacks' success kind of happened yesterday.
Sam Levitt is at the ballpark tonight. I'll be heading down there, Sam. So, wherever you go during the game, make sure you avoid me like you usually do. Padres and Cubs this evening. I want to ask you about Manny's 2 home runs yesterday and what you think. Sam, I know that I think my first thought is, fingers crossed that this is one of the starts of a Manny hot streak. I kind of think it would be the only thing anybody'd be talking about today had they won the game. Mm-hmm. But the fact of the matter is he's squaring them up. He's hitting it the other way, which tells me he's letting the ball travel. Could be bad news for for the Cubs and others if Manny starts getting locked in. We certainly could use it.
Yeah, you're right about that. I think they could certainly use the slug and the home runs. They can certainly use that because, look, I continue to maintain, and I've talked about it quite a bit the last week or two. 2 things can be true at once. You could certainly use more from this offense and from some of the big guys like Tatis and like Manny and like Merrill, while also acknowledging they're off to a really good start and they're just simply finding ways to win, which is certainly a trait of a good baseball team this early in the season, and quite frankly is a good thing to build as part of your identity early in the season. But you're right, Chris. It was good to see him have some good swings yesterday. We have seen Manny do this before. We've seen him go through cold stretches, and then we've seen him get scorching hot, and typically it can change pretty quickly. And I think we all know when Manny gets it going and he gets hot, that can last for a while, and he can carry an offense. So fingers crossed that what we saw yesterday wasn't just a symptom of the elevation, but pretty good shot that Manny's starting to really get it going from a run-producing slug standpoint, and obviously that's a very big deal for the offense. We'll see if it continues back here at Petco Park with the marine layer and all this week.
Yes, I know. How many times tonight will I go, oh, that's out of here, and then go, oh, wait a minute, it's April and it's Petco Park. Sammy Levitt is down there at Petco Park. Got a couple more things for you, Sammy, on the flip side. Tonight's lineup has a couple of different changes. Want to get your thoughts, and also your thoughts on the 0 home runs of Fernando Tatis and what that all means and what we're going to do about it. I think a lot of people figured, with Coors Field and Mexico City that he was going to break that streak. It hasn't happened yet. We'll get some traffic before we finish up today's Gwynn and Chris. happy hour brought to you by GL Pools. Company trusted by thousands of San Diegans to keep their pools sparkling, swim ready, expertly maintained. Call GL Pools now. Say radio. You get yourself a free month of service. Sam Levitt, nice enough to join us. He's got the pregame show coming up in 15 minutes. So I know you got to get to that, Sam. But give me a little update. Craig Stammen apparently was asked about Fernando Tatis, whether you want to call it struggles or whatnot. He, the home run drought, etc. What did the skipper have to say a little earlier this evening? Can you update us on?
Yeah, I mean, he was asked about it. Manny Machado was actually asked about it as well, and we'll play some of that for you on our pregame coverage, both what Craig and Manny had to say about Fernando's lack of home run hit so far this season. Both guys unconcerned, I think, unsurprisingly. I think from Craig's standpoint, look, he does not worry about the talent that is Fernando Tatis Jr. and believes it will come for Fernando, as do I think a lot of the guys in that clubhouse. I think, look, from just a purely baseball standpoint, the reality is in all likelihood, Fernando will hit a home run at some point and others will come as well. I'm pretty confident in saying that. I guess for me,
how do you know, Sam?
Well,
have you seen into the future?
No, I haven't. But
no, you're right. Of course, he's going to hit a home run.
Of course, he will. I will say this though. You hope that some of these long home run droughts that he's gone through, both last year and this year. You just hope that it doesn't kind of get in his head, right? That it affects the way he, his approach at the plate, because the reality is, and I know, some people don't want to hear it, he still hits the ball exceptionally hard, which you want to lift it, you want to pull it for sure. There's got to be a little bit more of that, but it does tell you he's still doing some of the things that he usually does. And you don't just create that quality of contact out of thin air. So, it will come, and hopefully it comes very soon, because I think the longer this drought goes on, the more that I think it's natural to worry a little bit, if it's something that he is thinking about and pressing over as well. So we shall see. Maybe tonight is the night.
Yeah. All he needs is guys like us reminding him to. That'll help him. All right. Before you go, you're going to do the lineups and all of that. This has been this Craig Stammen way this year. I get it. He's getting everybody involved. He's got Fernando at second tonight. He's got Castellanos in against a lefty. I'm a little surprised to see Fermin getting the call, the way Campusano's hitting the ball. Do you think we're going to see more of this against lefties, like Jake on the bench and things like that? Or is it just kind of a day-to-day thing with Craig Stammen?
Well, I do think right now it's a day-to-day thing. One thing I asked him about pregame, and you'll hear it in, about a half hour here on the station, is as guys perform, and I think, what I was really trying to get at was Ty France in particular, who's back in the lineup tonight, and maybe this is a bit of a reflection on Jake's struggles as well. I didn't directly say that, but it's, probably a little bit baked into the more general question. Will it get more enticing to sort of ride the hot hand? And, he essentially said, that's part of it. And if you do it right, it's about finding the guys that are hot and finding ways to get them in the lineup. And then you find the next guy who's hot and you get him in the lineup and you ride those guys while they're swinging the bat well. So, look, I do think it's an interesting conversation when you consider Fernando's ability now to play second base and what France has provided and how Jake has struggled. I don't think at all the Padres are abandoning Jake Cronenworth. I think today is a classic lefty on the mound day off for Jake coming off a road trip. Probably the right day to have Fernando play second base, put Castellanos in right field like they're doing. And I don't blame them at all for that. And obviously get France in the lineup as well at first base, and you get good defense there with Ty France. But look, never say never, Chris. I mean, if you have guys a la Ty France, a la Miguel Andujar, who just continue to hit and hit and hit, will it force their hand, if Jake's not hitting, to, create more days to play for guys like France and Andujar? And if Castellanos starts hitting, same thing with him. I do think when you're a winning ball club, those are things you got to contend with if you have situations where guys are contributing. So we'll see. I think for everybody, it would be good for Jake to get going, but right now, Ty France and some of the others have done a really nice job, no doubt.
Sam, I have a whole bunch more questions, so I will be tuned into the pregame show on my way down to the ballpark.
Okay.
So you can read my mind and answer all of those before the game starts. I'll see you in a little while. Thanks, Sam.
All right. We'll hear from Craig Stammen, Ty France, Manny Machado, and much more on the pregame coverage.
Yes, sir. Sammy Levitt has it right down there at Petco Park. He joined us on the SDCCU fan hotline. It's not big bank banking. It's better. All guests joining us here on 97.3 The Fan. If you missed it a little earlier, Tony and I had a good visit with a really excellent Major League Baseball senior writer from The Athletic, Britt Ghiroli. Not only talking about the ownership of the Padres, but the crazy things going on in Boston in the wake of the firing of Alex Cora. And also, unfortunately, I mean, I think all of us are just not mentioning it because we don't want to. We want to enjoy the season, but I mean, that darn lockout / strike, whatever you want to call it, is still hanging over baseball. And I think all of us really, baseball fans and just in general, just want to, have this season to go and them to figure something out. But I don't know. Does anybody really have a lot of confidence we're going to get there? Nobody does, right? Everybody thinks they're going to end up probably missing some baseball next year because these guys are so hard-headed. It's not the players, it's not the owners, it's not the agents, it's just everybody, right? Everybody, like, you got $1 bazillion. Carve it up. Let's go. Oh, no, I got to have this percentage. I got to have that. Okay, great. Thanks. Have a great time. But in the meantime, baseball, we're having some fun, and this has been a great, fun season so far for the Padres. Broadcasting from the Bill House Studios, where we know how. I wonder. I gave Castellanos the what for earlier tonight, so I'm not gonna go on that again. But what kind of pressure's on this guy just tonight in I wonder. It's April 27th. When you think about it, you signed him. Talked about the fact, you didn't spend a whole lot of money to bring him in. I almost said the Eagles were paying his salary. Wait till Jeffrey Lurie finds that out. He's not going to be too happy. The Phillies are paying most of his salary. So there's nothing to be lost. But as I mentioned earlier, the fact that he's here and playing and getting a chance, and again tonight, despite the slumps and everything going on, is probably the reason that, Seung-Moon Song got sent back to the minor leagues today. There's no room for him. But it's pretty easy to think that Song fits better on this roster, just than Castellanos. We've already got first baseman. We've already got right-handed hitting. Song is a middle infielder, left-handed hitter, can pinch run. It just seems like he'd be more useful. So, but when they sign Castellanos, you got to give the guy a legit shot. So the question is, where does that word legit come into play? Should it be May 15th? Should it be tonight? Where? He's in a 1 for 25, 10 strikeout slump right now. His outfield play has been less than stellar. He's in right field tonight. So where is it? That's not lucky. I'm glad I don't have to decide. Please, somebody does.
Please don't hold me to this, but if my memory serves, I believe if you're comparing Castellanos, Ty France, and Miguel Andujar was signed first and also to the most money. Like, he was the target and expected to kind of be atop the pecking order of these three. But my point is, when Castellanos and France are brought in, I think Castellanos was ahead of Ty France in the pecking order, but France, I think, has played his way above Castellanos, correct?
I don't think there's much question, not just the home runs, but he's a Gold Glove player. Castellanos just cannot give you any Gold Glove defense. It is what it is. It's a mean business. You can either sing the note or you get somebody else from the choir. That's just how it goes at this kind of level. I feel like I'm, taking shots at a guy. I want Castellanos to work out. I didn't think it was going to. That was my prediction. I could have been wrong. I still could be wrong. But, the people who said that, hey, it's not costing us anything. Well, to me it is. It's costing you a chance to get Song in the major leagues right now. The longer you stay with Castellanos, but don't you owe it to him to give him what? 2 more weeks, 3 more weeks, a month. I don't know. I guess that's part. And an aging star player, and Castellanos was an all-star type player. An aging star player is a tough one, no matter what sport or where you're at, right? It's one of those things that happens. What do we say? Father time's undefeated.
2-time All-Star Silver Slugger in 2021.
Yeah. I mean, Castellanos had a hell of a career. He deserves, some grace and some respect, truly. But at the same time, you've got a guy in the minor leagues you're paying $15 million to who can't get on the team. So that's something the Padres are going to have to figure out. Like I said earlier, the fact that I've been talking about this means Castellanos going 3 for 4 with 2 dongs tonight. So let's hope that happens. I have one last thing with a little time left. Adam Klug, I even think you'd enjoy this. You may have already watched it. I call everybody's attention to Prime Video and a television show called The Logo. It is a 1, maybe 2-hour documentary on the life and times of Jerry West, the logo for the NBA. You cannot tell the story of the history of the NBA without knowing the story of Jerry West. This thing is done so well. It features stuff from so many great people that you want to hear from, like Michael Jordan and Magic and Shaq and Pat Riley and Steph Curry, and just a who's who talking about the life and career of Jerry West. Adam, you're not kind of from my generation, so you never saw Jerry West really play. I really didn't. He was kind of at the end for me too. But he was the greatest executive in the history of the league, on top of being one of the greatest players in the history of the league. And what a interesting / almost tortured life this man lived. He passed in June of 2024. You're a sports fan, Adam. I know you are. There's no way you won't enjoy this.
I have not seen it. Was not on my radar. I have booked him as a guest several times, though, and spoken to Jerry West on the phone.
You're lucky to have gotten to speak to him. I covered the Lakers in 1989 and 90. He was the general manager. I sat in his office a few times, and I feel fortunate to have done that. Jerry West was just something beyond, and there isn't anybody who won't tell you that he is the logo and he should be the logo. You can't tell the story of the NBA without Jerry West. If you're younger, you don't know it, go back and do yourself a favor and learn about Jerry West. It's worth your time. And if you're one of my generation guys, for sure find this thing, because you're just going to absolutely love it. It's going to bring back incredible memories. It is really well done. It should win whatever awards are given to these kinds of documentaries. It's called The Logo. It's on Prime Video. From me to you, a little present. All right, Sammy's next. He's got all the pregame. Hamby's coming in here to run the show, so we'll win tonight. Pretty convenient, or pretty confident in that. Thanks to Tony Gwynn Jr., thanks to Adam, even Scraby, who is off today. We'll all be back tomorrow at 2 o'clock for another round of Gwynn and Chris on San Diego's #1 sports talk station, 97.3 The Fan. Adios.